12. Moon kissing my grind. Eyes red, pockets green, papers aligned. Warehouse, echo still claps my rhymes. Sweat drips, floor slick, still handling time.
Late night shadows, they creep, they linger. Catching my palm, burns hot, no splinter. It's the late shift crew, you already know. Handling this, stacking chips, money flow. It is what it is, don't play with me. I'm on time, but it's the late shift, see.
Coffee bitter, but the dream stays sweet. Clock in, punch out, rinse, repeat. Hustle heavy, got my heart off me. Counting every dollar like it's on a receipt.
Dogs got whisper, they sing, they call. Under street lights, my grind stands tall. It's the late shift crew, you already know. Handling this, stacking chips, money flow. It's what it is, don't play with me. I'm on time, but it's the late shift, see. But it's the late shift, see.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Late Shift. I am your brother Wise. I appreciate you guys pulling up today. Man, we're already through the middle of the week, man. Happy hump day to you guys, man. Hit the like button on the way in the building. We got a nice group of people pulling up. A lot of these folks you have seen before. They won't be newbies to the show today. We got a lot to get into. Not a whole lot of time to cover it. I'm going to try my best to keep us right at the 2-hour mark, man. I apologize to everybody last week. We went until almost 12, a lot later than expected. And y'all know we got B burning the candle on both sides. So we got to make sure that, we're respectful of people's time. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that we are respectful of people's time. Let me start pulling my folks up. Hit the like button on the way in the building. Shout out to, what did I say? Paul Harness joining the ARP family. Thank you very much. Appreciate you supporting the channel in that way. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much, man. Very much appreciate it. Let me pull my guy, Uncle Ro. What up, Ro? What's up with you, brother?
Yo, what's up, Brother Wise? How's it going? I am here again to preach the gospel, to all my followers. I've been doing some Christmas shopping wise. You know how we get down. Look, I'm going to go ahead and pan out. Went ahead and picked up a little fridge. You know what I mean? It kind of looks like, it was a spontaneous buy.
Spontaneous?
It kind of reminded me of like a 50s Bel Air, kind of thing. I was walking through Home Depot, just went to pick up like $5 worth of stuff, and like $400 later, I'm walking in the parking lot loading up my mini
That's
fridge.
normally how it works. Normally how it works. You go in for one thing, end up spending a couple hundred. That's how it works.
It happened to me again today, man. I was walking through the store. I was picking up some presents, for the little ones. And, dude, I saw some shell toe Adidas. Bro.
Had to have them.
I had to have them.
Took you back to your childhood. Nostalgia. Oh, he got to show them.
Look.
Yo, this dude's he's like a kid.
oh, they the actual shell toe, bro. And so people was asking me like, oh, what am I gonna get for Christmas? I'm like, what you gonna get me for Christmas?
Nothing. Nothing.
Listen,
Socks. Maybe a tie.
Wise, I got a rule, okay? If you're a child and you're in my family, dude, I'll buy you a very nice gift, some Jordans, something like that. I'll get you something trendy, some Pokemon cards, whatever you're into. But once you hit 18, the presents stop. So if you don't buy me a present, all you're going to get from Christmas from me is some that. All right? That's how we get down. So
this guy, this guy.
Gotta throw that disclaimer out there.
I can dig it. And the folks in the chat are telling you, Ro, behave yourself tonight, okay, sir? Behave yourself.
I'll be on my best behavior.
Let me pull up, Michonne. How you doing today, sister?
Good evening. Hello, hello. I love those shoes. I feel like I need to go get some now. Those are so cute.
Oh, I'm telling you,
Show and tell
after
today,
I
okay?
bought
Show and
those, I
tell.
played some Run DMC on the way home.
Yes,
Oh,
yes. That's what it reminds me of.
It's
But
classics.
yeah.
They classic. I mean, I'm not saying they're not nice. I'm not saying they're not nice. I'm just saying. I mean, dude done pulled the shoes off and pulled them up and showed them in the stream. I mean, that's a first. That's a first over here.
thank you.
Hey,
all.
I ain't trying to give Adidas no free promo. Okay,
You just did. You just did.
Listen, Run DMC did it in the 80s. They gave them a bunch of free promo. They ain't get paid for their Adidas song. You know what I mean? Every hip hop fan knows that. All right. So Adidas, you got a little bit of free promo. All right. But eventually you're gonna have to pay for that.
Well, I think they did end up taking care of Run DMC. I think those guys, every time you see those dudes, they're in Adidas. Every time I see those guys, especially Reverend Run, I think they got taken care of.
Yeah.
But thank you, Michonne. Thank you for pulling up today. Appreciate you. Don't mind Uncle Ro. Don't mind him. Okay. Oh, Spaces ain't ready yet. What's up, Dion? How you doing today, sister? Uh-oh. See, you're supposed to come in ready to go. Come on now.
My bad. My dog was over here barking, so I had to turn the volume down. But yeah, I was backstage jamming to the theme music. It's the Late Shift Crew. Hey, I like it.
Different, huh? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Appreciate you pulling up.
How's everybody? Y'all doing okay? Messy Michonne and Uncle Rose?
All right.
How are you?
All right. My muse is feeling healthy. She is back. She is in full effect tonight. Ready to give some inspiration. I'm ready. I'm ready to receive it. Yes.
Goodness gracious, what are we gonna do with you, guy? What are we gonna do with you, bro?
Gassing me up.
What's up, Celeste? How you doing today, sister?
Hey, everybody. How's everybody
What's
doing?
up?
Welcome back, Dion.
Hey, thank you.
Hey to the chat.
I'm gonna look at you. Come in low key today, huh? Low key. And what's up, Crystal? How you doing this evening? I'm about to say this morning, like I talked to you this morning. But I did. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Just scooted over here. I'm so sorry it's late. You know, it's just wrapping.
No worries. I know what time it is. It's all good.
Yeah.
We're going through the motions. Nothing crazy.
Yes.
But appreciate you pulling up this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank
Look
you.
at you. Yeah, pulling overtime duty today. Okay, overtime duty. We'll get Spaces pulled up once he puts his camera on. Let's get the show started, man. Hit the like button for me. Super chat, super thanks are greatly appreciated. Hey, Ro, we outnumbered right now until Spaces pull up, so you're gonna have to hold it down for us. I'm gonna be on the quieter side of things today.
Crystal done brought an A game tonight. Okay, the hair is flowing, the shoulder is out. She is ready to do her thing. Okay, yeah, I can see it. It is right there. It's right there. Go ahead and turn it and see it. Okay, she is ready to do her thing.
I cannot. I just can't. I just be minding my business.
Okay. So let's get the show started, man. Hit the like button for me if you haven't done so already. Let's get going. I want to start here. We'll start with something, I guess, a little more serious today. We'll start with the thumbnail. We'll start with the title. I will play a couple clips here. There is a lady that goes off, and I want to play this for you guys, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. But let me play this for you guys first.
People in Minnesota spend hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars on luxury cars and real estate. Now, this money was stolen apparently from programs that provided services to poor children. Many of the accused are Somali Americans, a fact that President Trump has used to criticize the broader community in general.
A honeymoon in the Maldives, a fleet of luxury cars. Here's a box with more than $270,000 in cash. This was all evidence from a new trove of files obtained exclusively by CBS News, showing how a group of convicted Minnesota fraudsters spent taxpayer dollars. One text message reads, "You are going to be the richest 25-year-old.
We're not even at the end of the beginning of our pursuit of the stolen money and of the people who stole it."
U.S. Attorney Daniel Rosen leads the office digging into the wave of COVID-era fraud that hit Minnesota.
So how much money are we talking about stolen?
I can say with great comfort, well in excess of $1 billion.
In the past 3 years, 87 defendants have been charged, 61 convicted. The majority of them are Somali American. Minnesota has the nation's largest Somali population. The perpetrators are accused of ripping off state-run programs intended to feed low-income kids, house the disabled, and provide services to autistic children.
This was a get-rich scheme.
Andy Luger was the U.S. attorney who first examined this fraud. He left in January.
One of the things we discovered is that a number of the people involved were buying investment property, resort property in Kenya.
Wire transfers reviewed by CBS News also show more than $1 million went to Chinese banks.
It goes behind a black curtain. It's hard to see where things went beyond that.
The Trump administration has said it's investigating whether any of the money fell into the hands of terror groups like al-Shabaab in Somalia. But both Luger and Rosen agree the evidence so far shows the criminals were only interested in getting rich.
If there was a black community that had stolen over $1 billion from our federal government or our state government, what would happen to them? If people in Oak Cliff, Texas, which is made up mostly of minorities, black people and Hispanic people, what would happen to them? Do you think that anyone in our government would let them go for decades, stealing from Medicaid and Medicare to the level that we've seen Somalis do it in Minnesota? So for all of the people that are saying this is a racial situation, let me tell you what racism would have done to this. It is no way that they would have let communities steal millions of dollars and billions of dollars in programs that were meant for autistic children, or programs that were meant to feed people when they said they were feeding, 3,000 people a day and they only saw 24. They would not have allowed this to happen if these people were regular Americans. If these were regular African Americans, this would not have happened in our United States. But our Democrat Party wants you to believe that this is a racial situation because, that's what they do. Everything is based on race. But let me just say this, from this one black woman, I have seen people in Dallas and all over Texas go to jail for $35,000 in theft. But the thing that gets me the most about all of this fraud and corruption that's going on in Minnesota is the attitudes of the people involved. The people that live in all of these communities, these Somalis, are now threatening Americans. They're not even telling us that they're going to take over the United States.
As soon as we find out who you are, trust you will be dealt with. Period.
You know what? Russia hasn't done that yet. China hasn't done that yet. You were brought here as refugees from a small country that had almost no money. But you want all Americans to be afraid of a community that has taken and stolen from U.S. taxpayers. And so all of you people that have made comments about it's just racist, really, let me just tell you something. I don't care what race you are. If all of my cousins are stealing from me, I'm going to be mad at my cousins and I'm going to call the police on them.
I'm Nathaniel M. Olson, a disability advocate for the state of Minnesota. I've heard the commissioners and the Department of Human Services, but the one thing that I'm freaking worried about is this freaking fraud that is happening over our state, where there's 600,000 disability people in the state of Minnesota that could suffer. And sadly, it's quite interesting that we have Governor Walz speaking in front of the state and saying that this fraud is nothing but the side. But my people are done suffering. We're done with this fraud. We're done with the Department of Human Services coming up here and saying, oh, we're going to figure this out. This has been too long. The administration knew that this fraud was coming. I've talked to families, parents, everyone have been reaching out to me and saying, oh, this is what is happening to my child. This is what is happening to my child. We're afraid. We need to put aside these differences and we need to come together and put a stop to this fraud.
All right, Crystal, I want to start with you. You can go with this wherever you want to go, but what are your thoughts on this situation? I'd actually want to hear what your thoughts are, on the sister and what she had to say.
Oh, I love that sister. I follow her over here on TikTok. I love her. I love her because she was dropping bars 100%. I go with her 100% because I love how people love to say this is a race issue. How is this racism? They were stealing money. This is fraud. Allegedly. Allegedly. This was fraud. Okay. The fact that people going on honeymoons, buying properties, and they're taking our taxpayer money, money that should be going towards helping children, people that are disabled, people that are dealing with all kinds of issues, people who actually need the money. They're not getting the money. People are sitting here getting wealthy. That man said there's $1 million allegedly in a Chinese bank. For real? This is what we're doing? This is what we're doing. And this is what happens when you have incompetent people leading, or should I say fake incompetent people, because they're not there. I don't consider these people incompetent. I really don't. I consider them to be the snake, the serpent. That's what they are, because they know what's going on, but they like to pretend that they don't know. They're innocent. Their hands are clean. I have nothing to do with this. You have everything to do with this. You could have stopped this, but because allegedly maybe some coins may be dropped in your back pocket, you have nothing to say. And I want people to pay attention to this, because Wise, you and I had this conversation this morning. People need to stop voting for something and expecting a different thing when you keep voting for the exact same thing over and over again. These people keep telling you how they feel about you. They keep showing you how they feel about you. They will replace you with people who are not citizens, give them all the benefits, give them everything that they need while you and your family are struggling. All this money has left. And listen, y'all know I'm neither here nor with reparations, but I'm just going to say, in the land of reparations, for some weird reason, they can find all this money to send to these people in another country. People can go on special honeymoons. People can do all these and buy properties, get rich. But somehow or the other, these reparations don't come around. But when they want you to vote for them, somehow or the other, they'll remember, you know what? We're going to bring up reparations this time around. That is why I always call it the carrot on the stick, because they like to play with people's emotions, say, we got y'all this time around. And they keep saying it over and over and over and over and over again, but they do nothing. At this point, everybody should be going to jail from the top to the very bottom. And we need to send all of them back. I don't care what nobody says. I know people like to say that these are our brothers and sisters. They look like us. Just because they look like us, they are not us. Okay, I need people to understand all skin folk ain't kin folk. Y'all need to accept that and receive that.
I'm going to reject they look like us. I'm going to reject that. But Messy Michonne, get in there. What are your thoughts?
I was going to say, I hope nobody is saying that. They're out there proudly saying that they're not Black. Well, that's what they were saying, and now they're kind of changing it. But we're going to stick with the beginning. I'm still confused as to why like Tim and Ilyan aren't as outraged as I think that they should be. They're just like, it's okay. It's not a big deal. And I'm like, shouldn't you be outraged that this happened under your watch? I feel like we know why, allegedly. Ilyan is not as outraged about it, but I don't know about if it was Black people, because I think white people see Somalians as Black people too. And me personally, I don't think a lot of people differentiate us. So it's just weird that nobody feels, it seems like it's not as outraged as like the rest of us outside of the state of Minnesota. And as we keep hearing different states that seem to have the same thing going on over and over in this town and this town, and all this money is just being taken by people who are not from here. And they're still saying, we got to make sure that illegals stay. We got to make sure that illegals stay. And I'm like, I'm missing something. I feel like I'm missing something. We can't be that stupid. Not us, but they can't be this stupid. They can't be. I don't know. I'm missing something. That's all I got.
Celeste, I want you to get in there. I don't know. I was talking about this earlier this week. In remittances, which is money that is sent over to another country, we're responsible, or the United States, our money is responsible for about a third of Somalia's GDP. $3.75 billion is sent to Somalia. That's what was sent last year. We don't know what those numbers are right now. Celeste, what are your thoughts on any of this? You can go with it wherever you want to go. I just find it crazy that that much money is being sent to another nation. It's just crazy. And no one's talking about it, at least on the mainstream media aspect, from the mainstream media aspect of things anyway.
So back to the mainstream media aspect, it is clear from this story alone that CBS News, the new leadership over at CBS News, Barry Weiss and all of those folks that she brought in, CBS is now bowing to the demands of balanced reporting. So I guess we should expect to see more of this because this is their show of how they are bowing to those demands, and they're doing now all of a sudden this balanced reporting. And the reason we're not seeing any outrage among Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar and other prominent figures in the Democrat Party is because Democrat voters do not mind Democrat corruption. When the corruption was exposed on USAID, Democrats weren't upset about that. They were upset that
they defended. Some of them defended it.
Well, a lot of them defended it, and I'm even talking about the voters. I'm not even necessarily the elected officials, those who work for elected officials, those people who are part of the party machine. I'm saying your Joe Schmo Democrat friend that you eat lunch with, that you know in your family and your coworkers or attend your church, they are wait to call me with the day they call you up and go, oh my God, can you believe billions of dollars have been stolen? They don't mind. They do not mind. This is not a problem for them. It is very difficult for them to be outraged over two things. One, it is difficult for them to be outraged on any level of criminality on the part of Black and brown people because their intersectionality training doesn't allow them to really, really demand consequences for Black and brown people, no matter what they do. They always seek to find some kind of reason why it happened. Well, you never know what happened in their childhood. They have all kinds of reasons why Black and brown people commit crimes other than the fact that they're criminals. They also cannot deal with any kind of Democrat corruption. Any kind of liberal or Democrat corruption is also something you can't get them exercised over that. If you were Jane Fonda in the 1980s, you can't get them to sweat over that for nothing. It is not a problem for them. That is not their priority. That is not what they care about. Democrats care about being cared for emotionally and socially. And if you have to steal from them to do it, that's fine.
Please.
Crazy.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Goodness gracious. Uncle Ro, man, get in there.
Well, there was a point that I made on the X-Ray podcast with Celeste and Robert and Dion over there, which was growing up when I asked my dad about politics, and he basically told me two things about politics that really define politics the most. One was vote for the guy you feel is lying the least, because they're both liars. You know what I mean? But just kind of break it down simple. You're talking to a kid at this time, so you got to break things down real simple. And the second was for every $3 of tax money, okay, one would go to the politician and two would get reinvested back into the community. Okay, that's the way it used to be. So one goes to the crooked politician, the other two gets reinvested. Well, now, like I told Celeste, basically the politician is taking $4. All right, and we're negative $1. And this is how you get $36 trillion in debt. Across the board, this is just stealing, just as plain and simple as it gets. But I don't blame the people stealing. I blame ourselves. You can't blame somebody that keeps breaking into your house when you keep leaving the window open. And that's basically what we're doing here.
Yeah.
There's zero accountability across the board. If you think, man, come on. If you think some Somalis who was freaking 8 months ago riding on a donkey, okay, all of a sudden come over here. I'm just being real. All of a sudden come over here, okay, can navigate through this system that most Americans can't navigate through, dude, and we've been here for a lifetime. Get millions and millions of dollars unassisted, okay, funnel the money overseas into some terrorist organization without zero help from nobody. Because, dude, if this is the case, then we need to hire them. You ever seen the movie Catch Me If You Can? Dude, we need to just go ahead and hire the fraudster at the FBI, bro, because he's smarter than everybody we got working in there.
Well, I do want to say this, Ro. These folks aren't doing this by themselves. When they are the faces. They are the faces. But in my research, there is a white liberal woman. I got to say it like that. A white liberal woman that also was arrested. Her name just wasn't blasted out there like that for everybody to see.
But there's 80 Somalis. Okay, they've indicted 80 Somalis. Okay, where are all the white faces?
Like I just said, there is one that was, I guess, helping to facilitate and probably teaching. This is kind of what they do, though. I mean, they're already showing. They've shown videos out there, AOC and others, of trying to show people, how to either defraud the government or get over on ICE. This is their MO. This is who they are. This is what they. I want to get Spaces in there. What are your thoughts, bro?
There's not a whole lot I can add outside of what everyone else has said, because everyone said everything that I was thinking. In order for it to, especially Rolando, in order for them to be able to do it at $1 billion, just what the guy was calculating, there had to be some cooperation from American government somewhere. And what I noticed with these conversations is, I always ask myself in these conversations, if it's not true, then why aren't they denying it on a mass scale? Why aren't they denying it? That's my number one question.
Yeah, because it's definitely true. And to answer Messy Michonne's question, why aren't Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar, why aren't they outraged? I believe they're not outraged because they're on the take. I believe that there's some form of kickback there. That's my belief. My belief is that they're on it. The interview that Ilhan Omar did, I think it was over the weekend, maybe the weekend before they start to run there, but I believe it was to Face the Nation. She looked guilty as all get out when she was sitting down answering. I'm just saying, I'm reading the body language. The body language says, man, we guilty as all get out, man. They were hoping that Kamala won, so none of this information would come out. That's what they were hoping. That's just my opinion.
Well,
I believe that they're on the take.
I'm just saying, like, Ilhan Omar supposedly married her brother. Where's her indictment? Tim Walz taking pictures with Somalians. Where's his indictment? Like, there's just, dude, there's too much smoke here for there not to be just a straight up blaze going on. And what I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure the FBI is investigating and whatnot, but dude, we need to see some indictments. Because like I said, dude, ain't nobody riding no donkey coming over here and just all of a sudden he can navigate through systems, dude, that even me, if you print out all these papers, I've probably had to get, a lawyer or something to sort through it to tell me what it all means in layman's terms. So you mean to tell me this guy show up, no money, no this, no knowledge, and could just get millions and millions of dollars? And not just get millions and millions of dollars, because I could even give you that and say, you know what, you're smart enough, you've probably been studying this for a while, okay, I'll give you that. But then you turn around and you funnel all this money, so now you ain't just a fraudster, you're a money launderer too.
You want to know the crazy part about this? Because
I don't buy it.
One of the things that's crazy about this to me is the total Somali population in the U.S. is about 260,000.
Yeah,
across the U.S.
It's very small, and in every city that they they're in, man, they are pillaging. Hey, they're not called the pirates for nothing, man.
I was thinking about that. The movie with Tom Hanks when it was
with Tom Hanks.
Was that foreshadowing?
It could be. They could have been just putting it out there. You know, a lot of times they got to put things out in movies first. You know what I'm saying? To get the people prepared for it. You know, just numb your senses to it. You know, I want to get Dion in on this before you go, Ro. Hold up. Let me give Dion an opportunity. You want to add anything?
Well, yeah. I guess I was kind of thinking, I guess, more from a more spiritual aspect. But you know, Proverbs 11:1 in the scriptures, it says that God hates, he detests unjust weights. America is going to get dealt with. All these rogue judges that have been turned loose, that are operating. I know, like Rose said just a minute ago, where are the indictments? Definitely those need to come, but it's sad that when those indictments do come and when things get to the point that they get, you know, in the level of the court, you got the judges knocking things out and just letting people off the hook like they did with so many. And, you know, at some point, you know, the American people are going to have to, they're going to have to scream outrage and just not accept. I don't know what it's going to take in order to reverse course on this, but you know, it's so deep rooted and it's sad. People are using, and people, when I say, you know, people who have been allowed into our country from foreign lands, the bad ones, they are using our kindness against us. They're using our tolerance against us. America has made an idol. I was listening to someone say earlier today, we've made an idol. Now, we have many, and one of them is tolerance. And because we tolerate every little thing, we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, you know, we welcome all this stuff in that's happening to us, like someone else just said. And then, you know, you bring a snake into your bosom, and then you turn around and you wonder why you got bit. A snake is doing what a snake does. So why are you surprised? You know, at some point, people are going to have to open their eyes. The people of God who are in this nation, I mean, there needs to be a turning point. It needs to start with us. Like it says in 2 Chronicles 7:14, the Lord tells us, if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, you know, and turn from their wicked ways, you know, it's going to have to start there. We have, even the Christians in this country have sat back quiet. You know, folks, everybody and their mama then ran out of the closet and we ran up in there. We're going to have to start pushing back, like Brother Denzel always says, and not letting people slide with this poisonous mess that they're spewing verbally out into the community. That's why I'm so glad for platforms like this one and people like you all who are speaking out. And, you know, we got to, hopefully that's something that will spread like a virus, and it needs to, because we have sat quiet for so long, and it's sad now where we are. I know that I follow a guy named Vince Dio. I don't know if y'all know him. Deo. His last name is Dao. And he just says, you know, Democratic Party, forget it. It's not a political party. It is a criminal organization. And we need to view it that way. And I mean, you know, and at some point, America is going to have to come to a point of repentance and all this idolatry, all this false God worship. We got tolerance. You got Black people, for instance, keep voting Democrat because they want to they want to be in the in crowd. They want to have acceptance from their community and all of this. But as you're voting blue, no matter who, I mean, you are supporting evil to be put in practice. So we have now all this rampant corruption. I'm so sick and tired of seeing it. We got this rampant corruption. And, you know, and then we just sit back in awe with our jaw on the floor going, wow, look how much they stole from us. And it is really amazing that the Somalian population is that small in the U.S., 200 some odd thousand. And they have taken billions of the taxpayer money. That ticks me off.
You know what's crazy? It's crazy is that they're a small number of people, 200,000. I didn't realize they were that small of a population. But for them to send $3.75 billion back to their own country, that's a feat right there.
It really is. I know people keep talking about how they have low IQs. They can't be that low.
They don't.
They can't be that low because they done masterminded us, boy, I tell you.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You said that people are in awe. You said that people are in awe. I'm going to disagree with you a little bit, Dion. I don't think that people are in awe saying, look at how much money they stole. I don't think the average American knows that this is even happening. I don't think we're talking about it, because we're in this and we see it. But the average American, they have no idea that this is going on. The average Democrat, as Celeste, brought, they have no idea that this is happening. And those that do, they probably are caping, saying, hey, they got a reason for why they're doing it. A reason, disadvantage, they need it, they deserve it, whatever the case may be. They'll find a way to cape for these people. They have found ways to cape for these people.
Well, but I want to read. I was just going to say real quick. Well, this is why I said what I said initially, because what you just said, I hear the conversations here on TikTok. I hear the Democratic conversations because they have their whole rooms, the Parkers, the Deans, all of them, and I hear the conversations, and they know about these things, a lot of them. And they're saying that's why the lady who you heard in the beginning said that they're saying it's a race thing. This is racism. That's what. So when I said they look at the Somalians as Black people, like all of us, they really do. So that's why they're saying, oh no, they're just coming against them because this is racism all again. They're coming against the Black people. I'm like, we're not the same. I don't know why y'all think we're the same. We're not the same. So stop trying to put all of us in the same. We are not the same. And exactly what you said. If they were doing that in a Black American neighborhood, believe you me, everybody would have been locked up. This would have been.
They're not going to get decades. They're not going to get decades to do that. Messi Michon, do you want to get in there real quick?
Yeah, I was on mute. I'm sorry. The story about the Black Lives Matter lady in Oklahoma, I think it was. I just did that story, and she's been arrested. So obviously, she's probably a thief, and of course, she's in a picture with Ilyan. So I guess she just hangs out with people who steal, because that's crazy for her to be over here with this set of people. And then she's over here with this set of people over here in Oklahoma. And I do look at the comments because I get these stories straight from the blogs most of the time. And they're saying the exact same thing in the comments. But the president has 34 felonies and, white people do it too. It's always like these excuses. I'm like, what does that have to do with this? This person did this, and the same person is involved with this in a whole different state. So no one thinks that's a coincidence. It's crazy.
Yeah,
they're not going to listen to anything. It's like brainwashed or something.
They are. I'm really tired of the whataboutisms. Every time something comes up, it's what about, what about men? What about white people? What about this? Is like, come on, man, stop it. Can we just discuss what's happening right now? Seriously, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Let's keep it moving. Before we do that, I want to read the super chat real quick. Shout out. I think this is New Sticks coming through with the $5 super chat. Says either Bondi is incompetent or Trump is playing in our faces. Either way, all she does is arrest capos, never the dons. Okay, interesting. I mean, I don't know if I can answer that question just yet. I have to think about that.
I could answer it. I could answer it and just say very simple. I understand what people are saying, but y'all have to remember something. People have to put cases together because these people will have all kinds of people sitting right there waiting to figure out a way how to dismiss these cases. Look at the judges that we have running around here that just keep throwing things out. They need to have such a tight case that is so well put together that there's no way they could lose. I know it's easy for people to say, well, they're not doing enough. But if they run in there and they throw that case out, then people are going to say, well, what kind of cases y'all putting together? Give them some time, y'all. Relax.
Well, the federal government typically, they don't normally move fast. They are efficient and they're smart. And when they do come, they typically come correct. And that's why majority of people either take the plea bargain because they've been caught dead to rights, or when they do take it to trial, they typically lose. If I'm not mistaken, the federal government has like a 99% conviction rate or something crazy like that.
It's 96%
96.
conviction rate for the federal government, and normally it takes them years to build a case.
Yeah, it's a
And
process.
normally, if you look at the structure of a crime family, dude, if you want to compare it to a crime family, the Don is normally the last one to fall. He's the most insulated. So you
Yeah.
have to go from the bottom up, from the foot soldiers to the capos, you know, to the right hand mans, and you know, put pressure on them because they're going to give you the direct information. They know where the bodies are buried, and they'll be able to bury the people at the top. And I know everybody, you know, wants red meat right now, but you know, it takes time. So, but just know when the feds come knocking at your door, you know, that's why John Bolton, the whitest guy I ever seen, was even whiter when the feds came to his door because he knows that fact. 96%. So if they're at your door, dude, it's because they got everything they need to go ahead and do you
And when they finally get the case and they get all their convictions, all that stuff, and they get their punishments, add this to it right here.
Give them the belt. Give them the belt. Yep.
That's crazy.
Because I don't know what it is about our government, dude.
Adults
but
and
our
kids need
government
it.
has some kind of need to import bums. You know, like we ain't got enough bums in this country. They just like, oh, we taking everybody's bums. Just come on, bro.
You know what though? I
And
mean, we're not that
it's
bummy
ridiculous.
though. We're not that bummy, bro. When you think about the people that are on the actual social services, SNAP, Section 8 welfare, the Americans, we're the least on that graph, on that pie graph. We're on the low, we're at the low end. It's not us.
Exactly. Cause dude, our bums are listen, our bums are eating caviar compared to these other bums out here. So that's what I'm saying. We importing third world bums. It is ridiculous, man. Dude, this is like you know, abomination, dude. When I look at it and I see who they're importing, and then you see Somalia, basically welfare rate, dude, is at about 82%. So
Yes,
82% of
plus
these,
80%. That's crazy, dude.
you know, I call them donkey riders. That's what I call them. So 82% of these donkey riders, bro, is freaking on welfare, man. Even our bums ain't on welfare, bro. You know, they'll go live in a tunnel or something and leave everybody alone.
Unless you're in
know?
California, you know, they get that free check out there. A lot of folks have moved out there for that reason.
You know, our bums live great, man. They live on the beach. They ain't got to work. You know what I'm saying? You know, they collect some and people give them food, bro. They don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? If I ain't had no dignity, I'd probably be a bum. You know, but I got some dignity. You know, so we got to
Shout out to the Energizer Bunny coming through with the $5 super chat. Says people upset over James Comey and Letitia James problems. Okay.
Yeah, but again, that's the same thing that I said before. When you have those kind of liberal judges out there that are throwing cases out, it's better for us to have a tight knit. You can't poke no holes, no nothing. Because if you start just bringing people in just to be bringing them in so that the American people can say, see, they're finally doing something, and every one of those cases get thrown out, then what was the point? We just wasted time and money, taxpayer money.
They got to come correct. Let's keep it moving. I want to play this clip. I meant to play this probably about 2 weeks ago when we came back from Thanksgiving, and I didn't, but I want to share this video with you guys. And I want to get your thoughts, and I want to start with the fellas here. There is a man, I'm not sure if he's married or not. I don't know if he was married, engaged, or if he was just shacking up with this woman, but they were supposed to have kids together. And I want you guys to hear this story here. Let me play, guys.
I told you I was sorry. I told you I was sorry. Mistakes happened. But
this man discovers children are not his after 6 years. Confrontation erupts on Thanksgiving. A man discovered that the 3 children he had raised for 6 years were not biologically his. The man learned the truth only weeks ago and has been struggling emotionally ever since. He reportedly asked the woman who betrayed him, along with the children, to leave his home while he tried to process everything. However, on Thanksgiving Day, the man's family decided to invite the woman and the children to the holiday gathering without asking him. They believe the kids didn't deserve to be punished and hoped the man would eventually accept them, even if they were not his biological children. When the woman arrived at the house with the children, the man became visibly upset. Witnesses say he rushed to the front door and blocked them from entering. He told his family he felt completely disrespected and said he was not ready to see them, especially after learning the truth so recently. The situation escalated into a heated argument outside the home as relatives tried to calm him down. The woman eventually left with the children after realizing the confrontation would only get worse. Someone defending the man's reaction and others saying the children should not be caught in the middle. What do you think?
All right, I want to start with the fellas here. This is an unfortunate situation here. Very unfortunate situation. I will start with you, Uncle Ro. Don't go too long though. Don't filibuster, for 45 minutes. But I want to give you the floor to start things off. What are your thoughts on this situation?
Well, I mean, I'd rather you start with Spaces because I kind of missed some of the video because I was messing with. I'm having a little technical issues over here, so I'm trying to work on my screen.
Got you. Spaces. What are your thoughts, bro?
18 years, and on the 18th birthday, you found out it wasn't his. Just saying, with these situations, it's absolutely ridiculous. I think women like this are absolutely disgusting. They're actual demons. I think, what kind of person would allow that to happen? They say the phrase, there's a phrase that goes, mother's baby, father's maybe.
Uh-huh.
And I actually did I looked at it a few times. 30% of men who take paternity tests find out the child isn't theirs. 30% who take that's just who takes the test. That's not all men.
They said those numbers were even higher over in Jamaica. They said the numbers were even higher, but keep going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's what, and this is why I'm 100%. I'm a 100% advocate on just making paternity tests mandatory at birth. Just swab the baby, swab the father, swab the mother. That's it. And then I'm all for and I'm not gonna say I'm all for it. I think about the idea of men relinquishing their fatherly rights about when it comes to situations like this. It's like I don't know what the process is specifically on him relinquishing his rights, but at now, women like this, they don't find issue with this because the only thing that may get blowback about it from is just from on a social level. There is no legal ramifications of a man caring for a child for 6, 8, 14, 17 years. They don't get any legal ramifications for it, so they don't learn a lesson. These women belong in jail. At the very least, he needs to be court ordered repayment for all of the finances that were dedicated to that child. And you know what? Mental health repercussions too. Like reimbursing for the mental health, for all the emotional damage,
the pain, suffering, and the anguish.
From finding out that the child wasn't his.
Yeah.
And then in a lot of these situations too, especially while the child is young, the mother will then turn the child against the man that was taking care of the child because now she's mad and he has to be the evil guy. Make paternity tests mandatory at birth, 1,000%. And if a man finds out that the child isn't his, she has to pay him back.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't have to worry about a payback situation, right? If they make the paternity test mandatory at birth, you would find out. You would find out what you need to find out pretty much, right then, at least within, a couple of days or so. Miss Michonne, I want to get you in here on this conversation. I do have a question for you. Mm-hmm. Is his family wrong? They know that this happened. They know this went down. Are they wrong for inviting this young lady and her children?
I think that might be the first place I was going with that. Nobody is thinking about him. They're thinking about themselves. And these poor kids in the middle as well. Do I belong here? Do I not belong here? Is that my fault? There's so many things going on with so many of these kids. It drives me nuts because everybody's thinking about themselves on the adult level, and they never think about what's going on with these kids at their level, what they understand, what they're hearing, what they're going through. We coming to see my dad. He don't want to see us. You think anybody's taking the time to give them any mental health or explain anything to them? So they're out here, just in the world feeling whatever they feel. And they're absolutely wrong for not letting him know and doing that, because then they're not thinking about his mental space and where he is and what he's going through, that's never going to happen. But I absolutely believe in mandatory. I don't even care if you're married. Mandatory, just do it because you're already there in the hospital anyway. What difference does it make if you just take a prick or take one of the blood samples and just go ahead and do it? I don't even know why that's not a thing, because when I was born, you didn't have to wear a seatbelt. Now I have to wear a seatbelt or I'm going to get a ticket. So just have it be, you get a paternity test. It's just going to be like getting a test for diabetes or something. Why that hasn't happened, I don't know. I know it's happened in a lot more states than it has, but it should be in every state, period, everybody, married or not, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I agree with you 1000%. That should just be a thing. And the fact that in 2025, it's not. Right. With all the changes that we've had, I mean, there was a time when you could smoke your kids out, in the car. There was plenty of times. My father was, my pops was a smoker. Man, we all be in the car, get out that joint smelling like cigarettes. Can't do that no more. They'll call CPS on your behind. Yeah. You can't do stuff like that no more. You know what I'm saying? So, right. I mean, if they can make those types of changes, why haven't they made it mandatory that, DNA test, hey, it's got to get done before this baby leaves. It's got to get done. This is crazy. This is crazy. But I'm upset with the family. I would be livid with my family members. Let me pull Ro back up here. I would be livid with my family members if I told them this happened to me. And I know they probably have some form of connection with these kids because I would assume that they would assume that these are, nieces and grandchildren, things of that nature. But where's the respect for me and my feelings after finding out that this woman that I've been with enough to believe that I have 3 children with is a slur? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Celeste, I'll give you the next word, but this is crazy.
I think that this man comes from a family that has no respect for him, and he chose a woman who also has no respect for him. And unfortunately, I'm not sure that he has been given the foundations that he needs to find a situation where he can be respected, because there isn't any evidence in his life so far that anyone has done so in the past or is presently doing so. As far as the family's concerned, the woman not only betrayed him, but she also betrayed the family. If you think that's your cousin or your niece or your grandchild, you're taking them out, you got a Christmas gift, they're invited to the parties. That betrayal was not just to him, it was to the entire family. And I'm not saying that on behalf of the children that at some point they shouldn't work something out, but who should be taking the lead on that is him, not them. The rest of that family should be falling back and maybe advising him, praying for him, offering him some counsel, but it is not their place to jump in front, make decisions for him, and take the lead. As far as the woman, I can go with spaces all the way. I'm even comfortable with saying, for all the money that he spent on those children, double it. Just a flat doubling. I'm okay with all of that. I'm okay with jail time. I'm okay with any level of punishment that comes from a known deception of this type. It is diabolical, and I'm perfectly fine with legislating any kind of criminal sanction. Where I draw the line, and I'm the odd man out here so far, is on the mandatory paternity testing. And the reason I draw the line on the mandatory paternity testing is exactly the same reason why I'm against seatbelts, because I do not believe in government coercion. You cannot want the government to be smaller but solve all the social problems you think are bad. Either the government is in your business or they're not. And unfortunately, we have to take control of our own business. And when we don't, or even if we make mistakes, then we have to suffer those consequences. That's what it means to be free. You cannot keep asking the government to come and mitigate the circumstances of your poor decisions. And I'm agreeing that this man has been put in a terrible situation. I agree that he's a victim, and I want any kind of legislative jail, penal hell that can come to this woman to come to her. But I do not want the government to come into my life, into my car, I want the government out of that.
And dig it. I want to play this, not play this, but I want to share this. This is from Jasmine. She said he shouldn't have stopped them from coming in and deal with her on the side because those kids still think he's their father. Oh man, Crystal, I want you to speak to that. Do you agree with Jasmine's statement? I don't agree with Jasmine's statement, but do you agree with her statement?
I do agree with Jasmine's statement. I agree with Spaces, Messy Michonne. I as far as this woman should be charged for all the things, and she should face all kinds of consequences for those actions. Because I'm sorry, I'm just assuming. I never know. How is it that you don't know who your baby daddy is? I'm just very confused by that. Maybe it's just me because I know. I don't understand how other people don't know. How are you dipping and dabbling and all that stuff? You can't get the numbers. Like, I just can't. That just goes over my head.
Can I ask you a question real quick? And this is for the ladies. Will this young lady sit her children down when because they obviously I'm sure they're going to be pretty distraught about this and have some questions. Will she sit their children down and say, "Hey, mama was out here, in the streets." Will she sit them down and be honest with them, or will she point the finger and blame this young man for kicking them kids out? Will she take responsibility?
The type of woman, the fact that she did what she did, she probably will not take the blame for this because her actions already show you the way that she rolls. Because she literally 3 children that he thought all 3 were his and none of them were his.
That's crazy work.
She's not going to be upfront about, well, no, this was mommy's mistake. She's not going to do that. But the reason why I said I agree with Jasmine is because who knows if those kids know, right? And it was number one, the parents was atrocious. Like in our family, you can't just be, if we done, you just can't be you can't invite them. I don't care. We got to have a meeting. I don't care if y'all still.
Oh, they can't invite the ex over without your permission?
Ex is not invited. We not doing that unless I say A-okay, right? But in this instance, they were already there. And the fact that the kids had to witness that will scar those children.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part where I said he should have just, he should have mustered it up, suck it up. Even if that means take his food and be like, you know what, I'm out or whatever he needed to do. So the kids didn't have to feel it. That's the only part where I said they were wrong. The family was wrong for it. So I would have dealt with the family privately. I would have dealt with her privately, but not put those kids through it because the kids are already going through it and they're going to have to go through it because they had to move out the house. Sure, they don't know why they had to move out the house, especially the ages because I saw they were carrying one around like on their hip and stuff like that. So all they know is this is my dad, and all of a sudden I can't live with my dad. And now for them to be in this space where now we come for Thanksgiving. Clearly, they've been coming to Thanksgiving for however many years these children have been alive, and now all of a sudden, Daddy don't want us in the house for Thanksgiving. That's scarring for them. So I would have preferred if he had just suck it up, let them come in, have Thanksgiving, and deal with the situation. Because yes,
but he did deal with that situation. He kicked him out and told that woman to kick rocks. He did deal with it.
He did wise, but at the same time, his family did what they did. Like I said, they were wrong. She showing up, she was wrong, but those kids are innocent in that. So that's what I'm saying is problematic. And I just want to say, I also want to agree with Celeste on the mandatory testing, because I agree. You can't just, now we want the government involved in all of our stuff. We saying we don't want them, but then we want them to, no, you are able to, as a man, say, you know what? I would like to have my child tested. Why does the government have to do it? You're a man enough or you're a woman enough, whatever it is, you can say, I want my child tested. So you don't need to ask the government to assist you on that. That is something you should be able to stand on your own 2 feet and request.
Can I ask this question? And Ro, I'm gonna get you in on this. I want to get you in on this. Can men honestly in that is that a conversation that needs to be had prior to this child, being born, prior to the delivery room? Like, hey, I just want to let it be known we're getting a DNA test. I'd like to have a DNA test. Is that a conversation that needs to be had?
It can be whenever.
Okay, now how many women are going to be like, yeah, sure, and not feel a certain kind of way? Because there's a certain, I guess, stigma around a man asking, and then next thing you know, a good relationship turns into, a bad one because this lady feels, oh, you don't trust me. He goes that now. This man's got to go through that, and he's got to deal with that. Ro, I want to get you in on this. What are your thoughts on? But before I do that, let me read the super chat real quick. Shout out to Quincy coming through with the $5 super chat. Says 6 years and multiple kids means she was cheating. She's doing a lot more than cheating, bro. There's a way worse word for that, for what she was doing. That's just awful. But Ro, what are your thoughts, bro?
So give me a quick rundown, right quick, of what happened.
Oh, bro, we can't do that.
No, I mean, I kind of get the gist. 18 years, I guess. He finds out that three of his kids ain't his. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when it comes to stuff like this, Wise, it's hard to hear women talk about stuff like this. When it comes to a man getting done like this, because women in general, dude, have very little sympathy about the trials and tribulations of men. Okay? Just to be honest with you. Because normally, dude, anything happens to a man is just considered funny. They laugh about it, they joke about it. I've seen it, I've heard it. I've got sisters, dude. Don't no woman care about no trials and tribulations of no man. Okay? So to most women, dude, something like this is just like, oh, that's so sad it happened to him. All right, what's going on? Where we going to lunch? You know what I mean? It's like a blip on their radar. But to another man, dude, this is catastrophic. Because see, to a man, we understand, dude, all those days that he put in, he went to work, he worked overtime, he sacrificed his personal time, to take them places, to do stuff with them, financially support them, emotionally support them, all the memories and the love that you build, all that. See, the woman loses none of that because the child is hers. It came out of her. There's no question. But for a man, dude, you're ripping all that out at once. And in most cases, dude, the man is hollow inside after that. And these are the men that women are producing, and now they get let back out onto the dating market and they proceed to do every single woman that they meet dirty. So they end up creating their own Frankenstein, man. This is one of those situations where you create your own monster, because
shout out to DeAndre. He came through and he said, bro shouldn't have to play nice after moms was running around on him. He no longer has a responsibility to those children. I'm not mad if he chooses to, but the burden should no longer be on him. I'm with you, DeAndre. I get it. I guess men, hey, be the bigger person, so forth and so on. But why we always got to be the bigger person when we're done wrong?
Why is this situation to a man in a woman's world will be the equivalent of a miscarriage?
No.
Okay? Because the same way, dude, that you lost your baby doll, he lost his. When he found out that ain't his, to a man, dude, look, Kevin Samuels once said that in the pride of lions, okay, a lion can have a couple cubs with a tigress, and when another lion comes over and takes over the herd, the first thing he do is kill the cubs, okay, because he wants no competition. He wants to lay his own foundation, okay? So when something like that happens and he finds out as the lion of his house that his cubs are not his, the fact that he's human makes him walk away. But if this was the animal world, he would ravage that pride. Okay? And destroy everything in it. So you have to understand, just you may not want to compare it, But to a man, that's what it feels like. Because to him, those kids are dead now. No matter how many years he spent with them, instantly, the second he find out that's not his seed, all that love died instantly. And 90% of men ain't no love no more. That's why he could just throw them out the house like that and feel nothing. Because
I don't want to say he didn't feel anything. I'm sure he feels a certain kind of way. I'm sure he's bothered by it.
Wise, if it was me, dude, I'm dead inside, bro. I'm cold.
I'm
Jack
sure of that.
Frost inside. And believe me, dude, I will throw her out. 5 kids, 6 kids, don't matter to me the amount. I don't care how I do it. You know, because inside, bro, you dealing with a man who's hollow. It's just a shell, bro. There's nothing in there.
So I have a question for Crystal. You said he should have still allowed them to come in the house after finding out that the kids weren't his?
Yeah. Because what I was just saying, and I'm going to answer you, and I'm going to say when I said no to Ro about, because when he said it's like a miscarriage, I won't say, I don't know if I'd equate it to a miscarriage. I may equate it to a man bringing home another child that's not a woman's and saying that she has to now kind of accept this child, which men have done that. That's where I would equate it to. And I think even DeAndre said the same thing. He saw it the same way. It's like a man bringing home, when you're trying to equate it to a woman, it's like a man bringing home a child that's not yours, that he fathered outside that home.
No, only a woman will tell a man. Only a woman will tell a man how he's supposed to feel. Okay, you don't walk around in my body. You don't have my mindset. You can't tell me
so
how
can
I'm
you say
supposed
it's
to
the same
feel.
thing as a
Like I
miscarriage?
can't tell you.
But Ro,
like I can't tell you how you
just
feel.
did that to Ro. I had miscarriages, so you just did that over here because you said this is how it is to a woman. It's an equivalent. You can't say that if you are not a woman.
Because
you're
to a
telling
man,
me,
to
you're
a
telling me
man,
what it is to a man.
in the eyes of a man, that's the death of a child.
I understand that. I said I understand, but I'm saying to you, you can't say that. You're telling me what it feels like as a man, what it's painful, but you can't equate it to what it's like as a woman because you don't know what it's like to be as a woman.
No, I'm not equating
That's
it
the
to
same
you.
way
I'm
I can't tell you what it's like to be a man.
The death of a child is what I'm equating it to, not you.
The death of a child, you have no idea what it's like to have a death of a child. So don't say that either, because I've been through death of a child. So that's what I'm trying to say.
When a man has 18 years invested into a child and then all of a sudden just has to walk away like that, that's the equivalent of a death of a child. But that's why you're not in the mind space of a man, and that's why women don't listen, dude, to comprehend. They listen to respond. And maybe if you listen to comprehend, you will understand and get a better insight on how men think.
I hear you, but you weren't understanding what I said. That's all I said to you. Because when a child dies in a woman, at least for me, that's still my child, even though the child died. That's all I was trying to, because you were trying to say it's the equivalent. It is not the equivalent because that is still my child. My child that I miscarried is still my child. I still think about that child. I still love that child. That's what I'm trying to say.
Isn't the child have a father as well? I'm not trying to equate what a woman goes through.
She's playing semantics, dude.
No, I'm not playing semantics. You said it's like the death of a child.
That's exactly what that is.
You said it's like the death of a child.
Because you always try to downplay the tribulations of a man. Every second you get.
Bro, I have neighbors. Please hold on. All I'm saying to you is you said it's like the death of a child. And the death of a child, you're saying you lose all feelings. And I'm saying, as someone who has had a miscarriage, and I've spoken to women who've had miscarriages, you still have love and you still care and you still think of that child as your child. Your feelings for that child does not die because the child died. That's all I'm saying. I am not negating how a man feels.
Women have emotions. Men don't have those type of emotions. We don't carry that.
Bro, please stop being so machismo. Let me finish my thoughts. I am saying to you, I can't tell you what a man feels like. And I'm saying I respect what you're saying, what a man feels like. But I'm telling you, you can't tell a woman that it's the same, because for a woman, when she loses a child, it breaks her and she still has love for said child.
So if I can't tell you the same, how can you tell me the same? The same thing you're telling me not to do, you're doing to me.
Bro, but you
doesn't
just
make
said,
any sense.
Bro, you just said the man has lost all love for that child. That child is dead to him. He has lost all love. That is literally what you said. That's what you said. So I'm saying to you, for a miscarriage, a woman has not lost love for that child. She still loves that child. So I was just trying to let you know it's not the same thing. It's not equivalent. That's all I'm saying.
You're
I can't
playing
tell you what a man.
semantics. You're taking a little itty bitty piece
semantics.
and you're blowing
It's
it
not
up
semantics.
to be bigger.
No, it's not semantics. It is reality, because you can't put those two together. I can't tell you how a man feels, but I can tell you as a woman.
Okay, so you're telling me that since you birthed the child and the child passed away, then all of a sudden you're supposed to care more. It's supposed to mean more to you.
No, I don't think that's what she's saying, bro. I don't think that. I think I understand what Crystal is saying. I think I got it. Let me hold up, bro. And I want to read this super chat real quick. What I think Crystal was saying here is that if a woman has a miscarriage and loses a child, she doesn't forget about that child. You're saying that as a man, when he found out that these children are no longer his feelings is, I want to completely disconnect from that entire situation. And in a sense, those kids, those people, they're dead to me at this point. No different than if you were to cut off a friend or something along those lines that wronged you.
He stopped loving them. It doesn't mean all that. The reason
you're just saying that he don't want to deal with them like that anymore.
No, the reason a man distanced himself, okay, is because of the violent nature of a man. Okay? When a man is pushed beyond a certain point, there's just blind rage, you know? And that's the reason for the distance. All right? It's not because he don't love them, you know? It's because, dude, I don't want to do something out of emotion that I'm going to end up regretting down the road and paying for down the road. You know, but just because the woman carried the baby and the baby passed, I get her point. But what I'm saying is, from the second that baby comes out, that man holds that baby, shelters that baby, nourishes that baby, spends time, builds bonds. You know, when all that gets ripped away over a lie, it destroys a man. That's why I could put it on the same equivalent as a miscarriage. Because the same way that child dying destroyed that woman and she'll never forget it, that man will never forget it either. It will go with him to the grave. And that's the only comparison I was trying to make. That's why I said it's semantics if you're just saying, oh, well, she carried the baby. Okay. But the man did everything else. You know? He has the same bond you got, he has too. And he lost it, not over, you know, something physical, you know, maybe
because you lied.
You know, health condition, something like that. It was over a lie.
Yeah. Let me share the super chat real quick. Shout out to Deb coming through with the $10 super chat. Says about 1 to 3 fathers out of every 100 children in the United States are found not to be biologically related to the father who believed he was actually the parent. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Shout out to the Energizer Bunny coming through with the $5 super chat. Says I have to agree with Crystal. Just because they're dead to him doesn't mean he no longer loves them. Thank you, Energizer Bunny. Appreciate you coming through. I think there was just a miscommunication there. I think you guys were both saying the same thing. I think there's a little bit of a miscommunication, but let's keep it moving. I want to lighten it up just a little bit, and I want to keep it moving because I want to make sure that we get out of here on time. 11 o'clock today. I don't want to hold y'all till 12. I don't want to do that. But let's keep it moving.
This happened to my brother, so this situation.
You know what, Dion? You didn't get a chance to speak on this. Go ahead.
Nope.
I'm sorry. These guys, they got into it. My bad. I'm sorry.
I'll make it as short as I can. This happened to, I have 2 brothers, and this happened to one of my brothers, this very thing. And it was like Spaces asked me, you know, when did it come out? Well, to this day, I don't know if this young man knows because his mama probably still hasn't told him. Last I heard, she had not, and he is probably close to 30 now. He
Oh,
has our last name and everything. But yeah, she lied, and my brother found out early only because the actual dad came back and spewed it because he wanted it to be known. And my brother was deeply hurt, and I can kind of identify. That's why I was nodding with a little bit of what Ro was saying when he said that, my brother became so angry that he did have to do that push away for a while. My father too. My father, like the way that the mother let us know is she went to the police. I think he was like 3 or 4 at that point, maybe. Yeah, he was around 4. She went to the police one day because we were like, look, we're gonna keep the baby because you out there in the streets and you wilding. We gonna just, that was what my brother, was saying. So she went to the police and said, they got my baby, I want my child. And when the police called and said that, my dad was like, oh, tell her to come NOW and you mean to tell me this is not my grandson? Tell her to come now. Don't stop at White Castle. Don't stop at the grocery store. Nothing. NOW. My father immediately started taking pictures down because he was in my other brother's wedding pictures and pictures all over the house. My dad pulled everything down. It was like, no. He wouldn't let us, like my mom or me, he would not let us do what the family did with that gentleman on the video clip that you showed. It was like clean break because he's like, it's up to the mother. I'm sorry for the child. I'll pray for the child and all of that. But it's up to that mother to do right by her child and tell the truth and get those kids the help that they need. Now, later on, as the child got older, my brother, he loved him, of course. But I don't think, and now that same brother has passed away several years ago. So, but I think to this day, he has not been told by his mother. He probably figured it out already, but he has not been told by that mother what the truth was. And that's a doggone shame. It's diabolical. I think that testing should be mandatory. If it's the government that comes after the dads for the child support, this, that, and the other, then I believe in the government should make it mandatory for the paternity test. If they're going to have involvement, then they might have, hey, that's the way I see it. So it's really sad, and it had a really adverse effect on my brother. So that one hit home.
I believe it. Shout out to Energizer Bunny coming through with the $2 super chat. Says it's not gonna keep me company till 2 a.m. Heck no. Heck no. Michonne over there, she yawning already. She like, man, what time is it? It's time to go yet?
I didn't think about that, Ms. Dion. If they make it mandatory, assuming that the mother files the paperwork, they have it mandatory or mandates for a man to to pay child support, but not mandates to prove that a father isn't the father of a child, or a man isn't the father of a child.
Yeah, that's not fair. That's not fair.
Yo, can y'all tell me where these mandates are? Because I never had that.
Well, there's no mandates. There's no if a woman does not want to go and file for child support, she doesn't have to. There's no mandates there. But I do think,
because Lord,
and I want to ask Celeste this question: if a woman files for child support, or if she goes and wants to file for, Section 8 WIC, cash assistance, whatever else that they can get, for being a quote unquote single mom or something along those lines, and should it be mandatory at that point? I understand what you're saying. You're like, hey, we don't want the government in the business. I'm all about small government, so I definitely understand where you're coming from. But single mom or something along those lines.
Yes.
If and when a young lady or young man, for that matter, decides to put the government in their business by going down and either asking for child support or, going for some form of assistance where the government has to get into business, at that point, would you be okay with it being mandatory that, hey, we're in your business, now we're going to get DNA tests done? Would you be okay with that at that point, Celeste?
Okay, so I'm not in favor of women asking the government for child support, and I have never been. So for consistency's sake, I want everyone to know I do not feel like the government should be the administrator and the officiator of your relationship. It is your relationship. If you conduct it poorly, then you should suffer the consequences of conducting it poorly. If it's great, then you should have all the rewards that come with a great relationship. But I don't feel like women should be able to go and take the hand of the government and use it to slap the man's face, because that's what's basically happening. I'm not big enough to enforce my will upon you. I'm going to go get something bigger than you and take its hand and use it to slap you. So I'm not in favor of that. Now, having said that, if the woman is going there to apply for housing or other things that she's entitled to, or we're saying that she's entitled to as a single mother, the fact is the eligibility is based on her being a single mother, not on knowledge of who the father is. So I still don't see a need for there to be a mandatory swab that a man needs to give his DNA to the government so that this could be problem. If you're going to give her Section 8 housing because she's a single mother, then she's a single mother, give it to her. If not, then don't. But he doesn't need to provide the government with DNA so that they can do what they've already said she's eligible to get.
Well, I mean, but they're going to come back. They're going to come after him, right? Once she goes and files for all of this stuff, they're going to be looking for this man to
come after him to pay it back. They absolutely do.
Well, see, here's my problem. This is why you have to get the government out of all of this, because I don't
think, though, so that's kind of a moot point. They're not going to
get happen
off of it.
Okay, well, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but what I'm saying is we have a better shot if people actually thought that the decisions that they made had consequences that they can't just run to the government to fix for them. Maybe we'd all act a little bit more responsibly. Now, I understand that this is a tangled web at this point, and undoing this web is not going to be that easy. But no, I don't think the government should be running him down and for child support. And if I can I give just a quick example? The state of Florida called Ben Carson and told Ben Carson that they wanted him to submit all of his tax and financial records because there was a woman who said that there was a child that he had fathered her child. Ben Carson refused to do that. This is the story he told. He refused to do that. They came back after him and said that if he didn't, they were going to subpoena him and try to extradite him to Florida. He refused again to do that. The state of Florida then came back to him and said that they wanted a blood sample, that he needed to get a blood sample. He refused to do that too. So everything he was asked for by the state of Florida in the terms of trying to determine his paternity, he refused to provide them with any information, genetic or financial, which is what they asked for. And he said eventually the woman either dropped her claim or the state of Florida stopped pursuing him. And he said, I knew one thing that the state of Florida didn't know. And he said, what I knew is that I had never slept with any other woman other than my wife. So I knew there could not be any other child. And what I'm saying is, and when I heard that story, I thought to myself, well, you know what, maybe that's an example of what blessed assurance looks like. And what I'm saying is when you have a situation where you are with this woman, I can believe does not in any way seem like she's a credible person that she could do something like this. I find it hard to believe that she's discredited in the area of paternity, but is otherwise upstanding and wonderful. I'm convinced there's probably a whole bunch of red flags were all around this woman as well. Yet he went on with it. Now, as terrible as what I think she did is, I do not think the government is me. I am the government. I am the taxpayer. I am the funder of the government. It's not my business what went on between you and this woman. When you are asking for child support, when you are running to the court to get paternity, what you're really doing is asking me to get into your business because I am the government. It's not my business. That's your mess. That's not my mess. I don't want any part of it.
Understood. Okay. Let's keep it moving. We're going to lighten it up a little bit. I want to play this. This is trending on TikTok. There's a couple of clips I want to play for you guys. I do find it interesting that women feel one way, and there's a clip of a man that feels another way. I want to play this for you guys, and I want to get your thoughts on it.
They should take 120K remote.
Hold up. I hate when that happens.
If they should take 120K remote, fully remote, or 240K to go into the office. And I was like, huh? And without even checking their profile, I absolutely knew they were a Gen Z. I knew their age started with a 2. Because for you to even ask the question of whether you should take 120,000 extra dollars a year just to go to the office, just to march your little booty to the office, sit there, fuck around for a few hours, make some friends, eat the free donuts and leave. What do you guys think goes on at the office? It's not that scary. It was for a time, but right now it's not that scary. It's not that scary, especially for 120,000 extra dollars a year. It's not that scary. It's nice. It gives you structure. Make you guys less weird if you made some friends and had somewhere to be. I'm just saying.
So much money to be back in office 5 days a week. I'm sorry. Right now there's a debate on TikTok. Would you rather be fully remote for $120,000 a year or be fully in office 5 days a week for $240,000 a year? Most of Gen Z is saying the 120K. Most of the millennials are saying the 240K. I'm sorry, you would have to pay me so much more money than 240 to be in office 5 days a week. Ultimately, what we're working for is freedom. Money buys freedom, but time buys freedom. But also, freedom is freedom. Do you want to work from New York City or do you want to work from Mexico City? And that's one of the things that I don't think people are accounting for. You get to work from the city that you want. If you stay in New York City at that 240K, you're going to pay big city taxes. Maybe you work from Tokyo. Maybe you work from Paris. There is not a number that you can put on that flexibility, in my opinion, that makes sense. Also, with all that extra time that you have, not commuting, not engaging in the office, BS, find a side hustle. Make that money up in a way that allows you to be more financially free. That's just my opinion, but I'm curious, what do y'all think?
And content creators are out of touch. I'll tell you who's out of touch. I just saw a video where somebody was like, would you rather take $120,000 a year to work remote, or would you take $240,000 to work 5 days a week in office? Literally double, an extra $120,000 a year. I'm thinking, I'm about my money, I'm about my business. That's a no-brainer. Evidently, it is not a no-brainer. They're in that comment section talking about, no, absolutely not. I would take that remote job for $120, half the pay every single time. Are you dead ass? In an economy where we just had to crowdfund because millions of Americans got their SNAP benefits cut by the government and could not afford groceries for them or their families, you're gonna turn down an extra $120,000 a year because you don't wanna put your shoes on, and you think the influencers are the ones who are out of touch? You want to be camera off, pajama pants on that badly? That fuck what you could do for yourself, fuck what you could do for your community. Obviously, if you're a mom or a dad or a parent or some type of guardian, some type of caretaker, if you have some extenuating circumstance that makes it more beneficial for you to be at home, do what you got to do. But if you're a young person with free mobility in your 20s, building your life and building your career, and you turn on an extra $100,000 a year, mind you, they're in the comment section talking about, oh, well, when you work in office, you have to buy food every day. Baby, if you make that much more money every year, you can spend $30 on lunch every single day and not even touch it. You could spend $200 5 days a week for 52 weeks out of the year and not even touch that money. Dog, you could literally find a magical way to spend $1,000 every week, 52 weeks a year, and still not even touch half of the extra $120,000 that you would make. If you magically found a way to trip and fall and buy two PlayStation 5s a week, you would not even touch half that money. You could buy 4 PlayStation 5s a week and still not spend all that money.
I'm
Tell me
doubling
what your
my
thoughts,
money.
man. 240 or 120, Michonne? What you taking? You taking the 240? You taking the 120?
I'm taking 120 because all those people don't know what to do with 120, 240, 36,000. That generation don't even want to work. So who thinks they're going to take 240 and know how to manage that? They can't manage what they have. Me personally, I'm 120 because sometimes I don't even think people know what enough is. Does anybody even know what enough is? So,
I mean, $120,000 is a lot of money. That's $10,000 a month. That's what is that? 2.25 times what the average person earns here in America. 120K is a good chunk of change.
Mm-hmm.
What are you taking, Ro?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm taking the 240. I'm taking the 240 all day. Okay, and twice on Sunday. I don't know what they talking about. I come from a generation where we work. You know, I was taught, hey, bro, as soon as you could, you old enough to negotiate a deal or whatever, you get out there and you work and you make as much money as you could possibly make, And this is why, dude, when I hear these millennials and they complaining and they talking about, hey, can't buy a house, can't buy food, can't buy this, can't buy that, I don't care. I don't care. Because when the opportunity presents itself, dude, they always take, the easy path, and in this case, the easy path is the 120. I have no problem showing up to the office, dude. That's where most of the sex happens is in the office. Why wouldn't I want to go to work?
How did this go that way?
What I mean?
Oh my gosh.
No,
You're way late.
Dude, watch any Hollywood movie. You know what I mean? Every single one. So I'm going to the office. You know
Bro,
what I'm saying?
can I ask you a question, bro?
Boomerang.
Have you not seen? Did we not talk about and discuss with Sharon Moore last week? Did we? Have you not seen the latest coach that was just fired? You know what I'm saying, for messing with folks where they work at, bro? Like, what are we doing?
I tell you last week on air that women are the downfall of men since the Garden of Eden. Okay, and it ain't never changing. I ain't no different. I'm a man. You know what I mean? So a woman gonna be the downfall of me too. So I'd rather go to the office. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and meet my downfall at the office. You know what I'm saying? And get me some. This is pretty simple stuff. All right. Do you want to have an exciting life or a boring life? The only thing you gotta pay as a man, dude, is with your job because they're gonna fire you. The corporation is the one gonna have to pay the lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? And if the chick cool with you, she might even wank it up with you. You know what I'm saying? Give you 50% of it. You know what I'm saying? And, that kind of thing. Because it was because of your, sexual exploitation that she making the money. You know what I'm saying?
No, your lack of discipline. It's not your exploitation. Your lack of discipline, sir. Spaces.
Look,
you taking the 120 or the 240? It is about discipline.
Spaces. Back me up on this. This ain't about discipline, bro. We trying to go to office. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get some. You know what I'm saying? Get the shoulders.
Who goes to work
massage,
looking? Come on, bruh. Bruh. Hey, my young people in the chat, for those of y'all that are young trying to work in the office, don't listen to Ro. He gonna get you fired, and you're not gonna get another job because you're gonna catch some sexual harassment charges, and Ro gonna have you not able to work anywhere. Goodness gracious, bro.
But
bad
you'll be
advice,
able to
man.
write a book. You'll be able to write a book just like Celeste. You know what I'm saying? And sell a bunch of copies and be the New York Times bestseller. See, he don't tell you about that. He just tell you all the negative stuff. You know what I'm saying? If Monica Lewinsky can make books, you can make a book too.
Spaces. What are your thoughts, bro? 120. You taking the 120 to work at home, or you taking the 240 to go in the office?
We talked about this on my podcast on Sunday, and I try to just play the devil's advocate and go for the 120 just to mess with people's minds. And my answer is the 240. That's not even a question. It's not even a single question in my head. And I saw the super chat. Somebody sent the $10 super chat. I don't know if you want to highlight it real quick, but I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of you have one job offering you 120 and you have another job or opportunity offering you 240. This is basic math. This is basic math. And you know what I think about when I hear this question and I hear the girl in the video talk about how the absolute majority of Gen Z talking about they'll take the 120. All I think about is quarantine. All I think about is the people that got used to being at home and making $2,000 a month or X amount of dollars a month for sitting at home where they're normally making $650 every 2 weeks working at McDonald's. So this is absolutely I honestly I was thinking about this today. I was thinking about how weak this generation of people is. It is absolutely. I was thinking about all these different things, bro. If I hear a dude say that he's going to take the 120 over the 240 because of what convenience, so what you can do your work in your pajama pants, you can roll over and not brush your teeth and just grab your laptop and log into work, bro. Just go paint your nails, bro. Get that 240. Go ahead and get you some. Get you a French tip, bro.
Not the French tips.
Like, bro, this is think about after taxes. Just the numbers after taxes. If you depending on where you are, it varies with numbers, but if you get the 120 after tax, that's like 90K. If you get the 240 after tax, you like 200K. What are we even talking about? Not only the average commute to work is 25 to 30 minutes.
I think your numbers off a little bit. If you make 120 taxes, if you're a single person, when it's all done, you're probably going to bring home, I don't know, maybe 75 grand or so after taxes that's even worse. And somewhere along those lines, at that 240, depending on if you are married or not, because that plays a role based off of your tax bracket. If you're married, at 240, you're going to keep a little bit more of that. If you're not, they're going to hit you upside the head. I mean, you're in a top tax bracket. If you're a single person at 240, they're going to beat you upside the head. You better be maxing out your 401k and those types of things. You better be doing that to lower your taxable income.
That makes it even worse. You're taking, and this is why I keep mentioning the song. I keep telling myself I'm going to put it in the song in our email thread. The song Brackets by J. Cole. Listen to that song because it's talking about it's talking about taxes. But what are y'all talking about? Take 120. Unless you just when I hear people take the 120, all I hear is lazy.
I'm starting to think that J. Cole is the soundtrack of your life.
It does. I think J. Cole is the soundtrack of his life.
J. Cole is the soundtrack of his life.
He gets brought up at least once a week. J. Cole comes up in the conversation in some shape, way, form, or fashion.
I got to pull that up after the show. I got to see.
Yeah, you got to go check out some J. Cole. Crystal, I want to get you in there. You taking the 120 or the 240? My guess is that you're going to take the 120 and get that and take the flexibility. That's my guess. But what are you taking?
No, I'm getting that 240. It doesn't faze me to go to work. I just stopped working, April? It doesn't faze me to go to work. I'll go in.
Exactly. Crystal want to come to the office and fornicate.
I don't do that. Listen, I don't do that. I don't have a desire. I feel
bro, you are trying to get hurt, man.
I feel like you're lacking in that area. Is that the problem? Because you just keep talking about it. Are you hungry? Are you hungry?
No, don't do that. Let's steer the conversation back to the 120 and 240. Let's not go there.
He sounds like he's hungry.
Vibes, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, a little hungry, a little thirsty. It's okay. It's okay.
Because I can picture myself like at the coffee machine and Crystal walk up early morning and grab 2 handfuls. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up, baby?
Hungry
No,
and thirsty.
sir.
I am not hungry, nor am I thirsty. Thank you, Ralph.
Ain't nobody saying nothing about you being hungry or thirsty. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that's a good wake-up call. You know what I'm saying? A couple handfuls of Puerto Rican buttocks. You know what I'm saying?
I will take the 240 because I have things that I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that gives you the flexibility because yes, you know, the flexibility is nice. The 120, the flexibility is nice. And yes, listen, I know how to stretch a dollar in the whole 9 yards, but that 240 will help me get to what the things that I want to accomplish a little bit faster. It will help do the things that I want to do. Listen, I am taking the 240 because knowing Crystal will stock all that up, especially young Crystal, would have stock all that up, put it all aside, throw it in some investments, the whole 9 yards, and then Crystal dip out in like what 5 years, 10 years, 4 or 5 years, I'll be out quick and in a hurry. I would already paid off the things I need to pay off, purchase a couple of properties, the whole 9 yards. I'm just saying that's how Crystal rolled. And Crystal with the 240, because the way she rolls, I would still have a side hustle that is bringing in income. So it ain't gonna stop me, because I heard old girls say, no, you take the 120 and then you can do a side gig. Listen, I can do the side gig with the 240. That ain't stopping me. There's 24 hours in the day. Thank you very much.
True. Did people do side hustles before they started working remote?
I did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they
I
did.
always had a side hustle. I always had a side hustle now.
Celeste, what are you taking, the 120 or the 240?
120. I love this question, and I wish they had asked this question in more than one way. I would love for them to have surveyed, because I've sort of seen this, to have surveyed multimillionaires and people who are very wealthy. People who are very wealthy value time. Everyone else values money. And the idea about, yes, if you want to do it because you want to keep your pajamas on and don't want to brush your teeth and all that's one thing. If you really want to be wealthy, the one thing that differentiates wealthy people from people who are not wealthy is control of time. That is the one. I know lots of people who make lots of money. I mean, they make way more than even 240. That's, you know, trust me, it's not as easy with the demands on your time at 240, at 340, at 440, when you're working for someone else, makes it very difficult to start doing other things other than that. That's what they're paying you for. They're paying you to focus on that. If you're, you know, if you're an equity partner in a law firm, if you are a vice president of a large hospital association, if you are, you know, that's a $400,000, $500,000 job. If you are a serious bundler for a political campaign, I mean, these are people who their salary is, you know, could be $500,000, could be up from that. But they're not going to be doing much more than that, because they're spending more than 8 hours a day. They're not going into work at 9 and leaving at 5. They're going into work at, you know, they're up at 5 and they're leaving work at 4, and then they're doing another 3 or 4 hours of networking in the evening. There's not going to be a lot of side hustle at 400,000. The demand, if someone's paying you 400,000, the demands on that time is ridiculous, which is why it's so difficult for the person who's making 400,000 to get to $1 million. It's much easier for the person who's making 120 but has control of their time to get to $1 million than it is for somebody making 400,000 who does not control their time to get to $1 million. So if you're thinking about wealth building, the most important thing is what is first being able to control your time in a way that can produce wealth. So I'm at 120.
Okay. And Dion, we'll get out of here with you. You taking the 120 or the 240?
I'm doubling my money. I would have to, just because of my own personal circumstance. I know what Celeste says, it makes sense, but I got to double my money. And then what I would do is, you know, if I'm working anyway, the 120 versus the 240, you know, that other 120, like somebody said, you don't even have to touch it. You know, that's going straight into 401k investing. And I'm going to line my little nest egg for when I retire, because I don't necessarily have a whole lot of years left in the, I hope it's shorter than I think, because I hope some other things break out and do well. But anyway, I would definitely have to go for the 240, most definitely.
Can I say something else? And,
Go for it.
And back on that. You know that thing that you always see when you see the two people and they stack a bunch of things in the line and they show the two different strategies of bringing the thing back. You see it like on TikTok all the time. And I don't feel like everybody has to be a millionaire. Not even everybody wants to be a millionaire. But the strategy, if that were your aim, and I agree with the idea, you could just take live off 120, take another $120,000, invest it, and let it ride over 10 years and grow a very nice retirement. You absolutely can do that. But if you want to join that rat race in terms of wealth, if you look at the strategy for wealth, the 120 is probably the better strategy. Because if you take those same two people over 10 years, that doubling of money is not going to do for it what you think. It's the same way when you watch the two guys collect the cups that are, 10 feet down the row. It always looks like the guy who's picking them up from the beginning, because in the beginning of the race, he's getting more. But by the time they get to the stop line, the one who went all the way to the end and then brought him back ends up winning that race. It looks like it's the better strategy because it's the double money. But actually, if you look in practice of who's done it, it really isn't. The time is worth more than the money always.
Never.
You know that because that's let me just say this one last thing. You know that's true because that's always what wealthy people buy from you. They don't ever buy your money. All they ever want from you is your time, and they'll pay you for it. That's how valuable they think it is.
Me personally, Wise, I don't buy into the wealthy and not wealthy thing, that kind of stuff. All I ever wanted really out of life, dude, was just not the struggle. I never wanted all the money in the world. You know what I mean? That was never my goal. That was never my aim. I just
but you also you said that you would take the 240. So which one is it? Is it you gonna take the 240 and go grind out for the 240, or would you take that 120 working your 9 to 5 at the house?
I would definitely take the 240. Because as a man, dude, I'm built to work. I'm not built to do remote work and lay at home and do that kind of stuff. No, I'm built to work, bro, and I'm just gonna work. But what I'm telling you is outside of that in my personal life, dude, I just always wanted not to be able to struggle. Go to a store. If I like something, just buy it. I don't have like expensive taste. I don't need Bugattis and Lamborghinis and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think 240 a year would purchase a Bugatti or a Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying?
But no, I was addressing Celeste's point.
Well, I mean, even if you are, $1 million a year, not going to get you that Lambo or Bugatti. I mean, just keeping it a buck.
When I hear this question, though, it's interesting when I hear men say, "I take the 120." See, with women is a little different. They like the flexibility of their time. They want to be able to just kind of get up and go to the computer, not leave the house, make their coffee, their espresso, that kind of stuff. And it's very convenient, especially if you have kids and things like that. It's very, very convenient to do remote work, But I always look at men a little different, dude, because if you're the provider, then nobody's saying that you got to be a millionaire. But if somebody gives you these two options, you're going to take the one that pays more, because you may have 3 kids, you may have a wife, you may have, a mortgage, this, that. Like Wyatt says all the time, if you want to have the say in your house, then you got to pay for that, So if you got to pay for that and you got to pay college tuitions and all this, you want your kids to have all the extras, then yeah. I'm gonna say 9 out of 10 men, dude, you need to be picking the 240.
I think when it comes to this, I think the absolute majority of people, and this doesn't apply to you, Miss Celeste, but the absolute majority of people that are choosing the 120 is because it allows them the ability to be lazy.
Does it though? I mean, remote work. I mean, as someone that has worked remote dating back to at least 2019, it's still work, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just because you work at the house doesn't mean you're not doing anything. You know what I'm saying?
That's not the idea that people are choosing the 120 though. People are choosing the 120 because I don't have to. Well, maybe it's just me. This is how I'm comparing the two. The 120 in convenience versus 240 in some work. I'm talking about
what Spaces is saying is right.
What I mean
You're
is
right.
like when you the average commute to a job is 25 to 30 minutes.
Yeah,
I will drive an hour to work for 240.
For 240? Oh man, I've commuted 2 hours for a whole heck of a lot less. What you talking? You know what I'm saying? There was a time when I worked down in Tyson's, man, an hour and a half to work and an hour and a half back. You know, for 50 grand. What you talking? You've done a whole lot more.
What Spaces is saying is right though, because right there on the viral post, it's a lot of the comments where they were saying what Spaces is saying. They're like, listen, I could just be in my pajamas. I ain't even got a shower. I could take the meeting with the camera off and nobody sees, and then I roll out of bed when I feel like. So what he's saying, a lot of them take the 120 for that type of remote convenience of I ain't gotta do nothing. I can be lazy about it.
I understand that, but these are also people that have never worked remote.
There's also difference in generations. So Generation Z, they don't want to work. I'm in Generation X. I've already worked. I'm where I'm going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and take the time because it's enough money. That's why I say, what is enough money? And men taking 240 is not a surprise because that just makes sense. And going into the office is work and working at home is work. Either way, it's work because I do it now. I'm hybrid, so I do it now. But flexibility is something more important to some people, and some people are already ready. So this is just a way to coast on out of here. That's how I'm looking at it anyway. But the generation, even if they have 240, if they don't know how to use money, they don't know how to use money, honestly, at any age. Because there's an OnlyFans girl making $350,000 a month, and she's living month to month because she doesn't have any financial literacy, and she's home, and she's in the comfort of her home and doing everything that she wants to do, and still can't manage the money. And that's the problem with Generation Z.
Wow, that's crazy. You said $300,000 a month can't manage $300,000 a month.
That's crazy work.
350, yes.
350. That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
My thing too is I've worked healthcare all my life, so I would rather be, out mingling with the public. That would drive me nuts. I worked a job, and it was a healthcare position, remote, and the way they micromanage, like they can tell you have to. They monitor you by your phone. So if you step away for a break, they know how long you're gone. And if you're gone too long, I mean, that's going to come back and bite you. So it seems to me like you're more highly monitored working from home than you are if you were in the office. So I look at it from that aspect as well. But yeah, I'd rather be where the people are. It's at home. I mean, shoot, after a while, it's just boring. I'm like, I'm stir crazy. I got to go outside with the kids.
I agree with Dion because they have this thing now because while you're working remote because of the pandemic and all that, they had this thing. They really do watch you. They do monitor you. They had even invented this thing where it can move your mouse.
The little widget that would move your mouse around. Yeah, they got hip to that though.
But then they got hip to it, and they're even monitoring that. So it's like you are more on lockdown remote than you are in the office. Because in the office, I can commiserate all over the place. I ain't even gotta be sitting behind my desk. They're not stressing you like when you are at home. They're monitoring everything.
Yeah, they monitored us a lot. When I worked in the office, man, we'd probably spend 2 hours, just getting coffee, sitting in the break room, talking about what was going on, chopping it up. Somebody's going, bring some pizza in for lunch or something, and next thing you know, it's that half hour turned into an hour and a half of chopping it up over some pizza.
Listen,
you don't typically get that kind of race in remote.
That workplace culture and all of that.
For $240 a year, okay, I can be the deviant that God intended me to be. You know what I'm saying? A
Why you blaming it
well-funded.
on God, bro?
Hold up,
Like,
man.
do not bring Jesus in this, please.
A well-funded deviant. You know what I'm saying? Which is the best type. Cause look, I live in Florida, and down in Florida, we drive big trucks. I got my big truck outside. We go to mud wrestling matches, and we hang out with white girls that got cowboy hats like Michonne got on. You know what I'm saying? And this
Oh
is how.
wow.
And we drink Bud Light, even though I don't drink, but that's what they be drinking.
You
You know what
drinking
I'm
Bud
saying?
Light, bro? You buying
No,
Bud
I
Light?
just said I don't drink, but that's what
How
they
come
be
you don't
drinking. You
drink?
know what I'm saying? Because I'm driving. I'm the
Okay.
responsible driver. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm a deviant, I'm a responsible deviant. Never
Oh my
drive
God.
drunk.
Appreciate
You know
that.
what I'm saying? Yeah, I have to throw that disclaimer out there. That's the disclaimer of the week for the audience. You know
That's
what I'm
your
saying?
next T-shirt.
Don't
Responsible
be
deviant.
driving
A responsible
intoxicated.
deviant. I like
Celeste,
that.
why are
You know
you
what I'm saying?
encouraging him, Celeste?
What?
It's
Why
my
are y'all
favorite.
encouraging this man?
But
It's my
listen,
favorite.
I like
240.
that. Hey, I like it. Responsible deviant. That's the first I've heard that
Yeah,
one. That's the
exactly,
first I've
bro.
heard that one.
You know, 240K, man. Man, let me tell you, you can get some work in.
That one's
Back in
pretty
the
good too,
day,
bro. Well-funded
yeah.
deviant. That's pretty good.
You know, back in the day, man, I used to hit the little poker rooms, you know what I'm saying, and play some Texas Hold'em, you know what I'm saying? And then once I
Oh, so
leave
this
Texas
you right
Hold'em,
here, huh, bro? Let's keep it moving. This is you right here. Well-funded deviant.
that's
Yeah.
me. That's my next shirt
Thousand
idea.
residents,
You know what I'm saying?
Atlanta,
Next to the
Orlando, Miami,
taco shirt,
DC,
gonna be the
Minneapolis.
well-funded deviant.
Yeah. This is Ro right here, y'all.
The top OnlyFans cities per 10,000 residents: Atlanta, Orlando, Miami, DC, Minneapolis.
Y'all heard what it said. Atlanta, Orlando. Come on now, bro. Come on now, bro.
The top OnlyFans cities per 10,000 residents: Atlanta, Orlando, Miami, DC, Minneapolis. What's going on? Is there anything that you can attribute this to? What do you think?
I don't know why that there's so many people in Atlanta that spend on OnlyFans. I have no idea.
I have a thought.
I clearly.
Atlanta got the strip clubs on lock. OnlyFans digital strip club. Let's say you don't want to make it to Onyx. You know, you don't want to go out there. Plus, the girl at Onyx might have an OnlyFans. You see her at Onyx. You know what I mean? She got the OnlyFans, whatever. Maybe you just go. This is the strip club in your house. You could order your own wings and have them brought out to your crib. You could eat the wings in your crib, have the OnlyFans on the TV. Because look, Miami is right there as well. Another strip club city. Atlanta, number one. Miami, number three. Two strip club cities. Cities where it's flowing a little bit. The booties is bouncing. The BBLs is BBLing. Maybe there's a whole ecosystem of ladies and stuff like that that makes it happen. Orlando, I can't explain.
I can explain it. Orlando. Rolando, what's going on with Orlando, man?
Listen.
All y'all down there, y'all OFing it like that?
No, I'm gonna tell you why OF is so popular in this city. All right, I done been to I done been to strip clubs in Orlando. I done been to strip clubs in Miami. I done been to strip clubs in Tampa, and even where Crystal at up there in the ATL. All right, plus a couple in Ohio and West Virginia, but we ain't gonna talk about those. But anyway, dude, the quality of woman in these clubs is poor, bro. It's just a bunch of ratchet fours up in there. 4, 5s, and 6s, bro. And that's what you got up in there. You know, the quality is extremely low. I'm talking about you walk in there, man, these girls got like old bullet wounds and like you could see like an old stab mark where somebody like tried to take her out. You know what I'm saying? And dude, that's not exotic, bro. That's not attractive. You know what I'm saying? Just to know that the woman you trying to get with, somebody tried to offer at one point. You know what I'm
She
saying?
got tears.
It's kind of hard to romanticize that. You know what I'm saying? So these OF girls, they're bringing something totally different. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you literally you got your pick from all girls from all 50 states plus international. You know, so if you're into eyes or if you're into legs or butt or breasts or whatever it is that you're into, you can find it there. It's a specialty site. You know, like me, I'm a sucker for nice eyes and a big butt. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I look for. You know, But you walk into these strip clubs, bro, and there's a lot of beer belly going on. You
Ankle
know, it
monitors.
just
I don't
the
know.
quality is low, bro. You know, Wise is a married man. He don't know nothing about that. And
I don't.
Spaces,
Nope.
look, and Spaces is too holy to admit that he jaywalked. Okay, so you ain't getting nothing out of him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the only guy up here gonna tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? And the truth is, dude, that the quality in these strip clubs, bro, is low.
I'm
You
sorry
know,
to hear that.
you know, like, look, I'll give you an example. We got one not too far from my house, right? It's called Cleo's. It's the black club, as you would guess, with a name like Cleo's. I was just driving by one day. I saw it. I was like, dang, what they gonna do up in there? Give me a lap dance and read my future? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just sound ratchet. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to pull up there. You know what I'm saying? But this is what you get, bro. You know, I did stop in there. You know, I just had to have a little peek, but yeah, it's what I thought it was. You know, so the quality is low, man. The girls need to tighten up. ATL is even worse, bro. It looked like a clown show when you walk into the strip club in ATL because women walking by, bright green hair, bright pink hair, bright white hair. You know what I'm saying? It looked like an Outcast video up in there. It looked like Bombs Over Baghdad. Remember that video? Every chick in there, why? You an Outcast fan. Every chick in there had green hair, purple hair, orange hair, white hair. That's Atlanta strip clubs, bro. It looked like a clown show up in there. So no, yeah, you know, OF getting all the money now.
So
It is what it is.
he's telling you what. So just to break this down in the layman terms for you guys, Uncle Rose said he is supporting some young ladies through college via OF because the midnight ballerinas inside the city of Orlando are not up to par. They're not there.
Wise,
They're on the.
I put more women through college, more black women and brown women through college than the United Negro College Fund. Okay, this is how we doing it over here. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't like that no more. I'm retired.
Spaces. What do you thought, bro? What's your thoughts, bro?
I don't follow booty. I follow God now.
That was just hilarious how he brought me into it. Said Spaces don't want to admit that he jaywalked. What?
Are you surprised that Atlanta's leading the way? You know, because I mean, Atlanta's been known, to be the one of the strip club capitals of the country. Are you surprised that Atlanta's leading the way in OF purchases?
No, I think I said it in the chat, but I said Atlanta and Orlando are the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't know about Orlando because I'm sure that there's probably a worse place than Orlando, but Atlanta for sure is Sodom or Gomorrah, one of the two. Because the worst stuff that I hear about, as far as in particular sexual deviancy, happens in Atlanta most frequently. So no, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And then it's also a sign of the times that we live in. We're just really in a digital age, and a lot of dudes think that, dudes in particular, because we know women subscribe to this stuff too. A lot of dudes think, well, I won't have the closest I'll get to this woman is paying $5 a month to see her naked. So he thinks that, okay, I'll pay the $5 instead of paying $120 to see your dance. So I mean, I'm not surprised at all. No.
Crystal, you got a little offended when Rolando started talking about the midnight ballerinas out there in Atlanta. You got a little offended. What's the deal with that?
I know some of them, and they don't look like that. So I'm like, no, not all of them look like that. Now, I know some, and they're very nice women, just trying to get through medical school. But other than that, I think the reason why it is the way it is because, number one, there, especially here in Atlanta, there a lot of big companies have moved here. A lot of big tech firms, a lot of all kinds of stuff has moved to Atlanta. And a lot of these people don't want to be seen inside the strip club. Some of these people, I'm not going to say all, but some of these people don't want to be seen in strip clubs. They don't want to be caught there. Some of them, some of these people are married. They don't want to be caught there. They like to, as that one man said to me, I like to keep my feet, I like to wipe my feet before I get in the house. So they would rather keep their everything clean around them while they do the foolishness that they do privately. So they'd rather do OF because they're not going to get caught in any of their activities. And again, we are in a digital age where majority of these people, they just love everything digital. They want to buy clothes digitally. They want to make friends digitally. They want to eat digitally. They want to do everything digitally. So it does make sense that they're like that. And then lastly, the way people be shooting, using their weapons nowadays, especially how people they go out and they don't act like they got sense. It's safer for you to do all of your debauchery in private than it is to be out in public, because every time you turn around, there's some kind of violence. I just had a friend, he put on Facebook where he was literally sitting out on his balcony looking out, recording some kids walking down the street with AKs, just looking for somebody to rob. So that just tell you don't want to be out here in the middle of the night just doing anything. You don't want to be out here in the strip club getting all twisted and then leaving and then somebody robbing you. It's better for them to stay home and do their debauchery. But I just say, read the Bible. No need to go on OF. Go read the Bible. How about that? That is my advice to all of you. Read your Bible.
They better rob me before I get in the club, because they rob me after the club. I'm broke as a joke.
Michonne, get in there.
I don't even know. I don't even know.
This dude is crazy, yo.
A little bit.
I'm just saying.
You think?
All I'm gonna have on me, wise, is some glitter. That's all I'm gonna have on me, bro. I ain't got nothing else for you. I ain't gonna be, hard to spot, bro. I'm gonna be like a disco ball in the parking lot.
Why? I forgot to tell you, I had a friend that was stabbed coming out of the strip club. So this is why I say a lot of people, a friend that was badly stabbed up. I mean, because I kept telling him, you don't need to be going to the strip club. Stay out of the strip club. Stay out of the strip club. And some guys just out of nowhere just jumped him and stabbed him up. And he ended up in the hospital, like hanging on for dear life. Thank God he's still alive. But this is what I'm talking about, the violence. And this wasn't even in Atlanta. This was in Oklahoma. So that's just to tell you the type of
they
violence.
don't stab people in Oklahoma?
No,
well, I don't think the club scene is a scene for anybody, to be honest with you. Any of the ladies, did you guys want to add anything on this, or we can keep it moving?
We can move on, but I'm sad to hear that things are not up to par. I'm sure that is disappointing.
What was the name of the strip club that everybody came here to in Atlanta? It was supposed to be, was it the Claremont Lounge? Is that what it's called?
No. You don't want to go to the Claremont.
No, it's not to go for something good. It was like it was an Atlanta staple. Like they name places that you just have to see because it's just so shocking for you. And I think Claremont Lounge was that place. That's what they called. That was the lounge.
Don't get me to lying. Don't get me to lying.
They told me about it before I moved here. They're like, Crystal, you gotta go visit. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes. Exactly. People from out of town know the name.
Yeah. It's the one.
Magic City. That's right.
It's the one with the bomb wings.
Oh, you're talking about Magic City? I mean, I thought everybody knew Magic City. Yeah, with the
No, I'm talking about Claremont
King of
Lounge
Diamonds. That's in Miami.
No, I'm talking about Claremont Lounge because the ladies are like 70 or 80 and they have tassels and they have bullet wounds and all that stuff.
Yeah,
like
don't
that's
go
what
to
they
the
say
Claremont,
at
bro.
that. But you go there to laugh. That was the point of it. It's a shocking place, and people were saying when you come to Atlanta, you should go visit there.
If your homeboy went to the Claremont, now I understand why you got stabbed.
My friend did not go to the Claremont.
You don't want to go to the Claremont, bro. I heard about
he
the
did not
Claremont.
go. He was in another state.
Oh, okay.
Y'all wow. And y'all in the chat, y'all wow. Y'all throwing out all the strip club. Y'all some degenerates, some deviants.
I'm telling you, dude.
All in the chat. Man,
Listen,
goodness gracious.
listen,
Y'all wow.
why since last week I've been advertising the late shift, you know what I'm saying, to all my deviants out there.
Oh my
And let me
God.
tell you, they showed up tonight in full force because they knew you had a strip club topic. And bro, they couldn't wait, bro. And this is their time right now. So go ahead, deviants, all my deviants, go ahead and shine in the chat. Let Wise know that you in the house.
Thank you, Jay
We
Miranda. She
represent.
confirmed that it was Claremont. Thank you, Jay
It
Miranda.
is the Claremont. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
I never
heard
went,
of
but
it.
I heard about it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've heard of it too.
Interesting. Let's keep it moving. This is the last topic of the day, and we're gonna get up out of here. Let me play this out.
Yo, man introduces a new dating concept of financial celibacy. Yo, I've been saying this for the longest time. The same way that, the only way a woman can truly know if a man is truly for them is by keeping their legs closed. Same thing applies to men. Fellas, if you want to know if she's truly for you, keep your wallets closed. No, for real though. Ladies, are y'all going for this? If you dating a guy, he's a great guy, but y'all pop out, y'all go grab some food, bill come and he hit you with the, it's a little too soon for me. I'm saving myself for marriage.
Quick story time. It is a blessing to have guy friends that are generous and are lover boys. Because dating in 2025, these men will make you believe that you're asking for too much. Okay? And then you call your guy friend and he'd be like, no, absolutely not. I just had a guy tell me that I had 2 inconveniences this week. And he told me that it was too soon to be generous. Yuck. Too soon to be a nice guy. Too soon to show me that you are to make me feel good. Oh yeah. Help me, God, help me. But I thank God for guy friends. I promise you, I do.
You know what? I'm pretty happy this young lady has a good guy friend in her life because she's going to need him because what the hell is she talking about? She tells a story about some guy. She didn't say he was a boyfriend. She didn't even say a guy that she's been talking to for a while. She just said some guy, which to me means you probably just met this dude. Apparently you had a couple issues come up, which is just another way of saying you're broke. You're poor. You asked him to help you or you told him about these issues. He told you that he wasn't ready to invest in you yet, basically saying he would only be generous with his wife or somebody he considers a girlfriend or somebody he's really involved with. And you have a problem with that? He's the problem? And your guy friend co-signed this. I should have knew the guy friend was going to be a problem because she started out saying he was generous and a lover boy.
Financial celibacy. We'll start with you, Michonne. Is that what are your thoughts on that? Can guys get away with financial celibacy?
Lord have mercy. I'm so sick of these dating people and they dating questions and all these crazy things that they come up with. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna fly if that's really a real thing. They just do more things to be separate than they do to come together. That's just my thought on it. I don't know.
Somebody said OMG, super simp. Super simp. Okay.
Oh, let me get.
We'll get one of the fellas in. Spaces. Let me let Spaces go first because you've been going first. You've been going, and I already know you're gonna go in. So let me let Spaces go.
I'm all for it. I think there's I don't necessarily want to say financial celibacy entirely. You will have a whole lot of guys that will be out here and they'll be regurgitating other people's points about the idea of not spending any money on the first date and all that stuff, which I think is what this concept was alluding to. I think, absolutely. Generally speaking, I think you should definitely be frugal or be careful with the money that you work for and the money that it is that you're going to choose to spend on somebody. So, and I see in these conversations a lot of women try to talk about a man being cheap or whatever the case. Well, it's not your money. You didn't work for it. If a man makes $25 an hour, hypothetically, And we talked a few weeks ago about the whole idea of a woman wanting a man to take her on a $200 date. Well, how many hours of his time went into that one date that there's a good chance that you might not call him back on. So no, I'm definitely, I wouldn't necessarily say, because I'm not going to say, another thing men say is don't spend any money, which is stupid. Like you will have, you may be, a woman will, go with your plan if she likes you for the most part, but at a certain point, you're going to have to spend some money. It doesn't have to be a whole lot of money. It doesn't have to be $100, definitely not 200, but 3 steak tacos in the horchata, that's $40. If she like you, she'll go with it, bro. And women love tacos.
They do.
Apparently.
I can testify, brother. Hallelujah.
But no, I just think generally speaking, I think the idea of financial celibacy is like an inflammatory topic made for social media. But no, definitely be more frugal, because who and this is the question that I asked. Who's the broke one? The man that's willing to spend money but is frugal with it, or the woman that's just looking for free food and not willing to spend money?
All right, Uncle Ro, you got it. Floor is yours.
Oh man, I feel so privileged right now. Wise, let me tell you, man. This stuff, I love what the guy said. I'm gonna have to start using that line. I'm saving my wallet for marriage. You know what I'm saying? What a great line, dude. I absolutely love it. That's up there with ridiculously blessed. You know what I'm saying? We're going to put it right on up there, right next to it, where it belongs. You know what I mean? Because it is a great saying. All right? Because, dude, these women think that automatically men just supposed to just start coming out the pocket and buying dinners and buying all this stuff. Listen, I'm not buying anybody anything. All right? And that's just the way I do things. If you want to get to know me, that's fine. We can go out, we could do some stuff and cool. That don't cost anything. You know what I'm saying? Because once a woman start running up the bill on you, dude, there's no love there, dude. You see it with the one woman, she's asking for all types of stuff from men she ain't even, really interested in like that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, dude, if you ask me for money, my money come attached with my private. You know what I'm saying? There's a string there. You know what I'm saying? So when you start pulling on my money, that's what you're pulling on. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't willing to take it to the bedroom, don't ask me for stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm old school like that. Back in my day, bro, if you wanted a ride from a man, you had to give up some booty. Am I lying? Did we not have the same?
Yeah, they had that old saying, cash. What was it, gas or
I come from that generation. All right. This new generation, they nice to you. They'll take you out. They'll buy you a $300 dinner. They'll do all that stuff for you. Us old players, nah, bro. We don't do all that. We don't do all that. We gonna get some tacos set up at the food truck, like I said, $5, $10, that kind of stuff. And then later on that night, if she like me, she gonna smash. If not, she gonna dash. But you only out some tacos. You know what I'm saying? Dude, this is the world that we operate in. And Crystal could shake her head all she want. You know what I'm saying? But this
Crystal,
is the
get in on this.
This is the dating world as is.
It ain't my dating world.
I'm sorry.
It ain't my dating world.
Hey, I'm sorry that you single like me. We got to deal with this foolishness.
You don't know my life. You don't know my life, bro. You don't know my life. Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that. You don't know my life, bro.
All right. Well, you keep on with your high horse, and we still gonna be playing on the same field.
Because
single and single.
my lady parts is not for sale, buddy. It is not for sale. I don't know why you think it's for sale, and you think $20, $100 is supposed to purchase my lady parts. You have lost.
Tell him.
Yes. That's just not how that works.
Listen,
That's not how that
Crystal,
works.
I wouldn't
And
come
you are not
within
old school.
20
You
feet
are
of
not
you.
old school because old school
know.
men that I know were gentlemen. That's who they
Okay.
were. I don't know who you are. And see, this is exactly why when we talk about the type of men that I would be dating, it would not be men that move like that. Because listen, I am not a whore. I am not a thought bucket. I am not spreading my legs for no gas. What is wrong with you? For a ride? Are you kidding?
Okay.
Are you your mind or something?
Okay, that's why grandmama was married and you ain't. You know what I'm saying?
And that means I should spread my legs for some tacos?
Hey.
Oh, please. Sir,
Hey.
listen. As my dear, wonderful big sis Celeste said, listen, I will go out. We can go out, and I usually wherever we go, I can pay for my own meal. Okay,
Yeah,
I can afford to pay for
congratulations.
my own meal. But let me tell you how it works. Okay,
Congratulations.
if you want to be, I saw a bunch of girls, and now I understand why all these girls were having these conversations. There was all these rooms, these panels that were saying things that were, if you can't afford to date, we don't want no men that are on this celibacy. And I'm like, what are they talking about? What did they talk? I had no idea what they were talking about. Now I get it, because at the end of the day, again, my lady parts is not for sale. I like, if I wanted to do that, I would have an OF page and I would be banking 350K plus for that. If I wanted to do that, if it's for sale, I'm not going to be sitting.
That's
not
why,
for no daggone.
that's why
Not
these
for no
women ain't got
daggone
rings,
tacos.
Wise. That's why these women ain't got no rings, bro. Because
Please,
everything that come out their mouth is,
Let me tell you something, bro. Let me help you. Let me help you, bro.
I
Let
ain't
me help
gonna
you.
do, I
Crystal
ain't.
has turned down.
That's why they ain't got no
7.
rings.
Listen, Crystal has turned down 7 proposals, because you want to know why? Because Crystal said, I only want what God has for me. I don't want a run of the muck that sits down here and thinks that my lady parts is for sale.
Okay,
what kind of woman do you think I am?
Delusional. Then you delusional.
Like, what kind of woman do you think I am?
Because to me, with that statement
then you don't
just
understand.
said, you just
don't
classified
understand.
yourself as
You
insane.
don't understand who God is and what He created us to be.
Saying,
you don't
that's
understand
what you just classified
and that
yourself
is why
as
you're sitting here
insane.
Listen,
Because, bro, I pray to God every night, and not one night in my life has God ever talked back to me.
Let
so
me tell you something,
waiting
bro.
on God to tell you, hey, check this out.
Open your
Tyrone's the
Bible.
guy.
He
You know,
has
out of
talked
all
back.
7 guys, Tyrone's your guy. Girl, you delusional. You better pick
word
one.
out your mouth, it has been about
one.
your thirst and hunger for the booty. Now, let me explain something to you. You ain't hear me speaking like that because I am good. You see, this is what happens. This is what happens when you are so hungry and thirsty for the booty, and then you want to sell, you want to purchase the booty. Listen, there's a place.
Just a straight
there's
flex.
a place.
All
there's
I'm
a place
waiting
called
for.
Olnat.
No,
I can
waiting
direct
for
you
is
to
for
Olnat.
is
Olnat, you can purchase as much booty as you like.
Okay, that's all
you
I'm waiting for. Wise to say right
Yo,
now.
y'all are wilding.
Wise.
Goodness gracious.
I tell you right now. One thing I've learned about Wise is this: all the time I've watched Wise, anytime Wise says interesting.
Next time,
he's
Wise,
saying that you're lying.
I tell you,
okay,
to find me
and
a
I
husband.
figured that out about Wise. All
you
right,
heard me,
so I'm waiting
Wise?
for Wise
Yo,
to
don't bring me into this, man.
And
Don't
next
bring me into
time,
Wise
this.
to butt in and go.
Do not.
Interesting.
Because,
dude,
Wise,
any woman in the chat, okay,
do
7
not ever,
proposals, you ain't flexing. 7 proposals. You got women out here dying to find a man. You got women on here commenting in the chat
I don't understand
about a man, and you sitting up here. Hold up, you sitting up here saying you had 7 proposals. That's what you said. 7.
Yes, I did. Yes,
7.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 7.
Right.
So none of these 7 guys were good enough for you.
No.
All right, because God personally did not whisper into Crystal's ear, because apparently can't nobody else hear God but Crystal. Okay.
Bro, the difference is I actually
Crystal
trust
is
God.
special.
Bro,
God
I actually trust God and I have a real relationship with God.
Come on,
you don't
man.
know who God is, so I would advise you to stay away from talking about God when you don't
stop
know him.
puffing your
know him.
chest out,
I
because I'm
know.
gonna call BS
I
on that
know
one.
what
Ain't
God
no 7
said.
proposals. Okay, any woman in here had 7 proposals from 7 different men. They would have picked one.
No,
Okay,
no,
I
no,
ain't
no.
trying to hear that.
Because
I ain't
again,
trying to hear that. And
because
shame on
again,
you for coming in here and
bro,
flexing
let me
like
tell you
that.
something. Let me say something to you. Because there is nothing wrong with being single. There's something where people
Okay.
seem to think that singleness is some kind of curse.
All right.
Singleness is not a curse. Singleness is a time where you are working and doing what God has called you to do. And if he calls you and chooses you to be in a place of marriage, then you will be in a place of marriage. I am not in a place of marriage. I have work for the kingdom in my single state that I need to do. And I'm not just going to tie myself up with somebody because some of these men that did propose to me, I've seen what their lives look like. They got met.
women
Stop
like
talking,
Crystal,
bro. Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop. I have seen what those marriages have looked like. I've seen them out here cheating on their wives. I've seen these things. So why was I? Because I'm so desperate for somebody, I would take anything?
Hold up.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to do that.
I'm not going to sit around
I'm
and
not
buy
gonna
that
do
because
that.
nobody's life is perfect on this planet. You trying to say
Who
you want the
said
most
about
perfect
perfect?
relationship
Bro,
ever
who
to
said about
exist in
perfect?
this life.
Who
And
said
those
about
don't
perfect?
exist. People get cheated
Bro,
on.
who
People,
said about
all that
perfect?
stuff happens in this
No,
life.
it's called
Okay?
God
We're
ordained.
human. We
Again,
ain't perfect.
God
Okay?
ordained,
Jesus
bro.
Christ had to die for everybody's
Bro,
sins because we
bro.
not perfect, but Crystal out
Again,
here looking for perfect.
you know
Man,
what? You're right.
listen, you can
Jesus
miss
died
me.
for our sins. But your
You can
problem
miss me
is,
with all
let
that
me tell you
perfect
what your
stuff.
problem is.
Okay?
You are one of those people that we call a
Your
grace
problem
abuser
is
because
gonna
you think
be
because
your
God
problem is
died
gonna
for your
be
sins,
10,
you are free
15
to
years.
talk and behave the
Women
way that you do.
like
But no,
Crystal
you're
don't
not supposed
understand.
to. Okay?
Women like Crystal don't
We
understand
gotta
because
have
I'll
when
one
read
they
at a
some of
time.
the
hold
We
up,
got
hold
one
up,
at a
Wise, let
time.
me say
One at
this.
a time,
Let me
guys.
say this.
One at a time.
Women like Crystal, okay, they feel young forever, okay? But what they fail to
Why does he talk
realize
about
is
me when he
this,
knows me?
okay?
No, he
Your
doesn't.
ability to get a man depends on your youth and your beauty. And let me tell you, with every day that goes by, to
I
all the
get
women
better.
in the chat,
I get
listen to
better.
this,
I get better
and
with age.
listen good to this,
I get
okay?
better
Every
with age.
day that goes by, life and gravity is stretching you apart like a Stretch Armstrong, okay? And by the time you get 50 and you get 60,
I get better
okay,
with
you
age.
better have somebody who love you, who
Coping
love
mechanisms.
all the cracks in your face, who love all the
I get better with
wrinkles,
age.
who love
What?
everything about you. Because once you get up there, ain't many men on that floor.
I get better with
Okay?
age.
So don't listen to what Crystal is talking about. If you got 7 proposals on the table, pick one.
Yes.
Know that your relationship ain't gonna be picture perfect. You're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
work at it. You're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
put in some work,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and get your life started. Because women like Crystal end
Is
up
Ro done?
alone. And I'm trying to
Wise? Is
tell
Ro
you
done? Because he's
that's
been
not the
cutting me off
road you
this
want to
entire
go
time.
down. Okay,
Ro
so
has been cutting
grab
me
your
off this
man
entire
right
time. So
now.
let me know when
Grab
he's
your
done.
man right now. All right, because remember this. Remember this show. All right. Because if Crystal makes it to 60, 70, 80, which I hope you do, and you ain't got no man,
I'll be fine.
everybody's going to come back to this show and say,
I'll be fine.
Crystal had 7 proposals on the table and didn't take one.
And
Wise, let me tell you this one thing. Okay,
Quickly.
there's
and
a
then I
joke
can
Quickly.
out
finally
there
speak.
that
And then
Quickly.
I
says
can
there's a
finally speak.
man who
Yes.
took a boat out to the middle of the ocean. Okay, the boat ended up getting a hole in it and sinking. The guy's out in the ocean and he's treading water. The guy prays to God and said, God, please, if you help me make it out of this, I will never do what XYZ. Okay. Boom. The guy's treading water, treading water. Little fishing boat pulls up. Says, hey man, you need a hand? The guy says, no, God's coming. The fisherman goes off. Another boat pulls up. Bigger boat, shrimping boat. Says, hey man, look like you in trouble. You need a hand? The guy says, no, God's got this. Third boat comes along. A cruise ship says the same thing. No, God's got this. The man drowned. The man get to heaven. He asked God. He said, hey, God, why didn't you save me? God said, I sent 3 boats. Okay? That's what Crystal. When Crystal prays and say, God, I ain't got no man, God gonna look at you and say, I sent you 7. And you ain't picked one.
All right,
All
Crystal, I'm
right?
gonna give you the ability to refute to that, and then I want to get the ladies in, and we got to get up out of here, man. We're
I
like
know.
30 minutes over where I wanted to be at, but we good.
So, as I was previously saying, yes, I was proposed to 7 times. I am 45 years old. My first proposal came when I was 18. What I know is that I am not just going to settle down just to say I'm going to settle down. And for all the women out there, no, you don't just settle down just because someone gave you a ring. There are flags that you look around. I pray and ask God always, is this the man I'm supposed to settle down with? And the Lord always reveals something for me. That was a prayer that my mother and my grandmother taught me very young. And I prayed that prayer, and every time the Lord revealed things that I needed to see so that I wouldn't end up in relationships where I would have been beaten, cheated on, side chick, the whole 9 yards. So for me, it is better to be single and wait for the right person that the Lord has for me. And now that I am in the place that I'm in with my relationship with God, I am in a better place for that. And furthermore, if I reach 60 and 70 years old and I'm still not married, the Lord is not going to say that to me. You know what the Lord is going to say? I have work for you to do, Crystal. And that's the only thing that I'm focused on. Now, as far as the idea about the financial celibacy, I'm part of the group of people that really support those old school men, not the Rolando old school men, the old school men. I like men like my grandfather, like my father, men of their word, men of God, men that are not purchasing your lady parts for $20 gas and tacos. Okay. I don't want a man that thinks like that, because that's that machismo, think that you are the housemaid or something like that, not your partner. Rolando mindset is you are there to please him, and that's that. I want a kingdom marriage, and I'd rather wait for a kingdom marriage than sit down here and play in this pond where all these men want to be purchasing lady parts for tacos and $20 and a ride to the gas station, apparently.
That's crazy. Couple super chats I want to read, and then if the ladies, Dion or Celeste want to add anything, we're gonna get up out of here. Couple quick super chats to read real fast. Shout out to Energizer Bunny coming with the $5 super chat. Says we almost made it without Ro being out of line. Shaking my head. Yeah, we didn't make it. Not today. Shout out to Papa Died coming through with the $5 super chat. Says Ro, here's your stripper club reading your future. Okay. You're gonna be broke and need penicillin. Goodness gracious, they coming for you, Ro. They coming for you in the chat, bro. Papa Died again with the $5 super chat. Says, Wise, I was told to get you to ask Ro if the first stop after he leaves the club is a Walgreens. He's gonna need another itch that he can't scratch. Okay.
No, Papa Died. Anytime I leave the strip club, I go directly to your sister's house. Okay. That's just
low blow. Golly, come on, Ro.
Just saying.
Come on, Ro.
I'm just saying. I gotta be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Def Reaper with the $2 super chat. Said winter is here.
Don't come
and
for me,
thank
Papa
you,
Dog.
Def Reaper coming through with the $2 super chat. Says you're not gonna tell me this is generational. Okay. Celeste, Dion, did you guys want to add anything?
I do, but the chat is demanding that Messy speak. So please,
Messy, they want you.
I have nothing to say. This is weird. Like y'all already said that this is just in my opinion, just another way for these people to be separated. I'm not commenting on this Ro Crystal thing. No, not at all. But on the original video, it's just more division as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's divisive. I'm glad I'm not in that. I'm glad I'm not in that anymore.
Exactly. It's too much. It's too much.
Hey, Papa Died, don't come for me, bro. You better ask Josh. All right, it ain't gonna work out well for you. You know what I mean? I love you myself. You know what I'm saying? But don't be putting no penicillin remarks in there, bro. I'm clean. You know what I'm saying? Don't be putting out rumors and scaring off all the ladies in the chat, bro. Don't be a hater.
Celeste, get in there.
So I want to say this. I want to say this. This really reveals, something very unfortunate. which is the idea that somehow if a man goes on a date and pays for the date and sex doesn't occur, or at least some indication that she likes him or whatever, that he feels shortchanged. And I feel like this. I personally, if a man wants to be financially celibate, I guess as they're now calling it, that's perfectly fine with me. I feel like the person who asked for the date is the one who should pay for it. If you're interested in getting to know me, you should pay for the date. If I were interested in getting to know you, and I'm not, but if I were, then I should pay for the date. However, my thought about this, it's not an equal exchange to saying, well, because women are saving themselves for marriage, men are saving their wallets for marriage. The saving yourself for marriage is advantageous to men. And it's very unfortunate that men don't know how it's advantageous to them or why it's advantageous to them. First of all, it is an opportunity for you to practice some sexual discipline. I believe I said this last week or at some other point on this show. Most men do not know what it is like to say no when it is offered. Most men, most of the time, they have an offer. They take the offer. If there's a woman that's willing, they take the woman that's willing. That's number one. But there's another reason that very few people know, which is the fewer partners a man has before sex, the more satisfaction he feels in marriage. So what you're actually doing is ruining your ability to enjoy your wife when you finally do have a wife. It's so there is real reason why both people, both men and women, should restrain themselves sexually before marriage. And if you need to restrain yourself financially before marriage, that's perfectly fine. I think if you're just dating someone, I really don't care what happens in the dating sphere, because I don't think the dating sphere leads to anything or really is about anything. But if you're courting someone, you can restrain yourself financially. But when it is time to actually be serious and tell that person, listen, I want you to be my wife, then you're going to have to financially disclose. You don't have to spend money on you now, but I'll tell you, I will need to know your entire financial outlook before I'm willing to say I do.
So
and you can know mine as well.
I got a question for you, Celeste. So if you're paying for the date, right? Let's just say you're interested in the man, right? And you're and like you said, you'll pay for the date, right? Am I right on that? Okay, so if you pay for the date, and let's just say you meet an 8 like me, okay, and you want to take me on a date, you know, I'm a high end, you know how I feel. I already told you about this, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to put out for some steak and some and some lobster, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the night, you're gonna be expecting some booty or what?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, next time I'm in your area, can we go out for steak and lobster?
I'm not interested in getting to know you.
Come on, come on now.
Hey, Rolando, you get shot down left and right today. They on your head today in the chat. The ladies, you done got under the skin of the ladies. They on your head today, bro.
I love Rolando. I love Rolando.
It'll help the reputation. You know what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying is, if you're interested in getting to know a woman, then it is your job to, one, ask her, and to ask her on a date or ask her for her time. Now, whatever that means to you, I don't think that means that you have to go to the top restaurant and all of that. But the fact of the matter is, you should pay because you asked her, because you're the one that's interested. If she's interested in you, then she should ask you. And if she does ask you, then she should then pay.
That was always my rule of thumb. If you call me and ask me, hey, what are you getting into? You want to go out? I just assume that you got it. And I'm just going to ask. I'm like, hey, you got it?
This is crazy. This is crazy. Out of 100 dates, how many of them are initiated by women to where they ask the man to go out with them?
Because we're not interested.
Well, I've had a few. For me, I've had it happen. You know, in my single days, I've actually had a multitude of women reach out.
But you see, nobody has an answer. Out of 100 dates, how many of them are initiated by women?
Probably one.
Because it's because they are used to.
I think it depends on the man. I think it depends on the person.
No,
It depends on the
they ain't
man.
got no
Let me tell you
game.
something, Spaces.
That's the reason why they don't approach, bro.
It's not
Women
because
got
of social
zero
training.
game.
It's not because of social training. It's actually biological. And here's the
Oh, that's
biology.
my point.
No, wait.
It's
The
against
biology
men.
of a woman. The biology of a woman is having to go ask a man or spending time with a man that you don't know. Most women are not interested in men they don't know. What makes a woman interested is actually the process of getting to know them. So in the forefront, if I don't know you, I'm not going to do anything. Almost anything sounds better to me than finding a way to get to you because I don't know you. Now,
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
The women are just scared of getting
Women
rejected in
don't
the way
like
that men
men
are
they
used to.
don't
That's
know.
why they don't ask for it.
No, that's not. It's not social training. It's biological. We are built to be wooed. The fact of the matter is spending time with a man is what makes you like him. That's why women like men they work with. They like men at their church. They like men who they've had access to and gotten to know a little bit. Most women do not walk down the street and go, I like those 10 guys.
That's
right
not true. Are you serious?
No, they don't.
Women are not the approachers in the absolute majority of the situation. And if women are meant to be wooed by men, then we can't have the conversation about women asking men out for dates because the absolute majority of dates that happen are never initiated by women because women don't approach men.
You're right. That's why they don't. They don't approach men because, especially strangers. Now, if you're in, like Y said, if there's somebody you already know, they already have your number, they've already had some level of access to you, they may call you up and say, hey, what are you getting into? What do you want to do? Most women are not walking up to a strange man saying, hey, sir, I'd like to get to know you. Can I have your phone number? Can I please take you somewhere? First of all, women don't even know if you're not a threat. Women don't even know if you're not.
Here we go with the typical. Come on. Let's keep it above board with the idea of women being under some sort of danger by men. Let's keep it above.
No. Women are under danger by men.
In the absolute majority.
Rolando said it today because when he talked about how, listen, men have a biological capacity for violence that women do not possess.
That's not true. Do you look at this information? 1 in 4 women are under domestic violence by men, and 1 in 7 men
not saying
are under
women
domestic
don't
violence by
commit
women. It's
violence.
not too much of a difference.
Hold on, wait.
This is
there is a
crazy. We
difference.
can't go
There
there.
is a difference.
Women don't approach men, so we can't have the conversation of if women ask men out for a date, then they should pay for it because they don't ask. And women don't even communicate like that. They don't even go up to a man. They just put themselves in the way of men in the way that he would make it would be obvious to him that she wants him. They don't initiate that stuff. So we can't compare the two because it's a negligible amount of women that go up to men. What are we talking about?
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you that it's negligible. On your thing of 1 of 100, I said maybe 1. So I'm agreeing with you.
How are we comparing then?
Wait, but what we're disagreeing with is why. You're saying that they don't do it because they've been socially trained or pressured not to do it, and they have an expectation of a man. I'm saying that's not the case. I'm saying women are not made, we are not designed to like strangers. Women like men they know. They've had some access to. Women do not think a strange man is necessarily someone usually women meet men in some type of safe situation, like work, like church, a friend of somebody, my cousin, my best friend's cousin. Somehow they've had some access to this man, and in that access, she has come to like him. But it's not because the society has trained her to say, you're a woman and you should just wait for this man. Even if society took that away, women wouldn't do it. That's why they don't.
You're proving my point. The absolute majority of women do not even approach men in a direct way to where she asks him where she asks him out on a date. The absolute majority don't. So we can't have a conversation about women asking men out for a date.
No, we can still have a conversation. I'm agreeing with you. We don't have to say about asking them out for a date. The question now is, why don't they? We agree with you. Why don't they?
It's a multifaceted thing. One of the major things is when you hear a woman saying, I don't approach men, they say that's a man's job. I do that because I'm a woman. And you hear multiple women saying that.
All right.
Wise, you see how hard it is to be an 8 out here? You see all this you got to deal with when you an 8, bro? You know, all these arguments.
I don't think that the reason is because they solely think it's a man's job. I think that they're not doing it. There's not many women that sit in a room, any room, and think, I want to go talk to this strange man. That's just a cold, I'm gonna walk over to him and say, hi, can I ask you your name, blah, blah. Women are not, they don't like you that much without knowing you to do that.
No, I don't know if I agree with that.
Men like women that much because men are sexually attracted to women they don't know. Women are not sexually attracted to men they don't. Very few
not
that
true.
they don't know.
Okay. Check this out. Let me ask you this. If at a Chris Brown concert, it's absolutely majority women. Mm-hmm. If it were possible, how many women could Chris Brown in that one night smash?
Maybe at least half or more.
That sounds like a lot of women.
Yes.
So it's like, yes, women are in the same way.
No. Here's
they
the
just
difference.
don't do it.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference.
Different sides of the same coin.
Here's the difference. There's a difference between the women who think they know Chris Brown. They think they have access to him because they've heard him talk in interviews. They've watched him. He has come into their life and through his music and his personality, they think they know him. That's very different than someone sitting across the table in a restaurant that they have never known before, never seen before.
No, I disagree. I disagree because you haven't met my brother. And let me tell you, my brother lives the lifestyle of a Penthouse magazine. Okay,
he
you
might.
ever read a Penthouse
one of the very few
where
men.
it's like, yo, I was walking through the woods and I met the Swedish bikini team and they was out there picnicking. You know what I mean? Like he lives that kind of life. And I'll give you one story, but I'm gonna leave out most of the story because you know it's an X-rated story. But my brother-in-law didn't believe me. He took my brother bowling with him, and let me tell you, he found out. He met a girl at the bowling alley, and next thing you know, they was doing the do, you know, in the back in less than 5 minutes.
I'm not saying that doesn't happen.
I agree. I agree with Spaces.
I'm not saying
women know. Within 5 minutes, I'll bang this dude.
Listen, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but you yourself remember when we said that you had most 90% or 80% of women chasing 10% of men. Your brother is in that 10%. I believe you told me you had 7 brothers. This is why you only have one that you have that story for.
I have several who fall in that category. Listen, I told you, Celeste, we got 8s running all through my family. Okay, we raise all types of anarchy in these women's lives. Okay, we break hearts all across this country. Okay,
y'all are a trip,
and the territory of Puerto Rico. Okay, this is how we get down. Okay,
I'm saying you all think of women as something different than we are. And the truth of the matter is women they generally are not sexually attracted to strangers, which is why they don't approach strangers. Men tend to be sexually attracted to strange women, which is why they're willing to approach strange women. And that's not because of social training. That is biological.
Couple super chats I want to read real quick, and then we're going to get up out of here. Shout out to TD Tellum with the $10 super chat says, that's why men should stop going on dates for intimacy. That should be focused on before there's ever a date. Let that woman know up front so there's no misunderstanding. Okay. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to is it Rayshawn Cross coming through with the $5 super chat says, Ro, you're right. Women out here want a traditional man, but they not traditional themselves. They have hidden agendas. Okay. All right.
Yeah, they have a hidden agenda.
Shout out to TD Tell him with the $5 super chat says, intimacy is part of getting to know that woman. If she's not interested in that, move on. Okay.
I'll say this like, oh, sorry, I'll wait till you're done. I'm sorry.
All right. TD tell them again with the $5 super chat says women don't approach directly. They always go for the indirect. Women shoot their shot playing coy.
Facts.
I would agree with that. There are some women that are straightforward, but for the most part, they just try to, put themselves in the vicinity, or like Celeste said, I think it was last week, just go fall in front of a man if you're interested in him. Just go trip and fall in front of him.
I see them all. And listen, Wise, I see them all the time at Home Depot. They be walking up and down the aisle looking lost, and men don't be talking to them, bro. We in there getting our 2x4s. I seen one of the guys swing around with that 2x4, hit her in the head. We was like, clearance. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get up out of here, girl. This ain't a spot for you.
I'm in Lowe's every day.
Shout out to Michelle Love coming through with the $5 super chat. Says that's BS, ma'am. Women do like men they don't know. Society has taught women to not approach men. That's why women use cues to get a man's attention. Would you like to respond to that, Celeste?
I don't think that they're using cues on strangers. There are very few strange men, a man that you don't know, that you've never seen before, that isn't related to anyone you know. There are and here, this would be my question to the woman that asked that. How many men of all the men you've ever met are you using those cues on? I bet you it's a small fraction. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that it's never, ever done. What I'm saying is, if a woman knows 1,000 men, she may do that to 5. It's an extremely small amount, because there are very few men that are going to be a stranger to a woman that she's going to like enough to walk directly up to them and say, hey, sir, what is your name? I'd like to get to know you better. Can I have your phone number? That's very few women are doing that. And I'm telling you, it is not social. It's not social programming. I do believe that we do create social programs in the society to respect the biology. That means that you live in a society that understands your nature. But the nature of a person is, the truth of the matter is, more men are sexually attracted to more women they don't know than women are sexually attracted to men they don't know.
So that is so crazy. I refuse to believe that. There's no way. I just use the example of Chris Brown. He could probably, if he could probably smash 90% of those women in one night. Never talk to them.
I agree with you on Chris Brown.
Never had a conversation with
Chris
them.
Brown might be like Rolando's brother.
When it comes to the direct conversation, when it comes to the direct approach, that's where we are agreeing. When it comes to actually we're agreeing but disagreeing at the same time. When it comes to the direct approaches, that lies with the men. When it comes to the indirect approach, that lies with women.
Why don't all men?
You hear what I said?
I do. So Spaces, why don't all men have the same ability to smash the same number of women as Chris Brown? Why not?
Star power, because Biggie pulled faith.
All right, wait. Star power. What does that star power mean? What's star power?
The women love the man. A lot of women love the man that other women are attracted to.
That's what you think the star power is?
No, they know who he is.
Star power is they think they know him.
Exactly.
They think they know it. Listen to what you're saying.
I know what
you're
I'm
saying.
saying.
You're saying two things.
Women believe that Chris Brown is their spirit
at the same time. They think they know Chris Brown, but he still is a complete stranger. But they also don't.
No. I never said that.
Talk to complete
I'm
strangers.
saying, listen, if you were do marketing, musicians and rappers and people, these people are marketed to do what? What is the point of their marketing? It is to make their customer identify with them personally. That's what sets the star apart.
Based on sexual desire when we're talking about Chris Brown.
Yes. So what I'm
still don't know him.
What I'm not
they know him.
What I'm saying is Chris Brown's, put it this way, Chris Brown's marketer, the person who says, hey, I got a talented kid and I want to make him famous. I want him to have star power. The first thing they're going to think about is how to make him what? Relatable to who? An audience. If Chris
Desirable.
Brown has an
Not
audience of
relatable.
women, they want him relatable to those women, and they're going to market him that way. So those women have
Desirable.
desirable, relatable. Those women have
Either way, they don't know him.
No,
all right,
but
they may not,
think
but they have a level of comfort with him that they don't have with the guy sitting at the next table in a restaurant.
they
All
think
the
they
people that got to get up on
Spaces.
stage. They think
Celeste, can
they
I
know
just
him.
give Spaces this? Can I just
Exactly.
get, maybe this might help. Spaces. There are young women in like teen years into the early 20s that are in love with, and like they have, like they're in love with anime characters, because the character, they feel like they know this character, and this is a very real thing. You can go look it up. They actually are in love with these men because they think they know him. They don't actually know him, but there's something they think they're relatable to them. It's just like they're in love with the people that they see on Avengers. They think they know Quicksilver. Like that is what happens. That's what Celeste is saying. So they see Chris Brown. When Chris Brown is singing, they really think Chris Brown is singing to them. When he winks, he's winking at them. This is what it is. So a woman is thinking that we are here. We know each other. That's all she's saying. A woman usually is not sitting around here. Yes, she may see a man and think he's attractive. No one is taking that away. Sure. But what we're saying is they're not approaching, because usually that interest where they're liking somebody is usually because they know the person. So in mixed crowd,
they don't know him though. That's what I'm trying to say.
They are. So basically, if you and me and you had a brother and we're all hanging out together and I'm around your brother all the time, and then I'm like, oh, I actually kind of like his brother because I got a chance to be around your brother, and he kind of, like, I kind of know him. I don't know him, but I kind of know him. He's familiar to me.
Yes.
That's what she's saying. Familiarity.
Then she spends too much time around him, then she puts him in the friend zone. No, it is about it's in the same wavelength as the whole physical attraction. Women look at men in the same way that men look at women. They just don't admit it.
That's not true.
We're not even biologically capable of that. All right, you need to tell me.
We talk about looking with your eyes.
What physiology allows women to think about men the same way men think about women? Because I can tell you the physiology that doesn't allow it. We're not biologically capable of it, especially healthy women. Now, damaged women who've had severe abuse, I'm not talking about that. But other than that, regular women are not capable of that. We don't even access our visual cortex in the same way. We're not capable of thinking of you sexually that way.
Some differences. A couple more super chats I want to read. Shout out to TD Tellum coming through with the $5 super chat. Says when a woman is feeling a man, she's going to feel very safe with him. It never fails. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, TD Tellum with the $10 super chat. Says don't take this seriously. Women have to play on the low like this because most men can't handle the truth of why they move the way they move. It's nothing personal. It's just how they move. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Death the Reaper with the $5 super chat. Says respectfully, it's all Slordom, all 2025 going into 2026. Okay. Shout out to Frederick Howard with the $5 super chat. Says men control your meat, money, energy, attention, and time. The acronym MEAT, MEAT. I like that. Money, energy, attention, and time. I like that. That's good. I don't know where you got that from, but I might have to steal that one. I like that.
He made that up in the car.
That's pretty dope, though. Wherever he made it up at, that's pretty dope.
No, I've heard that before. It comes from Coach Greg Adams.
That's from Coach Greg Adams? Okay.
Yeah.
It sounded familiar, but I do like it. I like it. Money, energy, attention, time. I like that. Shout out to Dwayne Lee with the $2 super sticker coming through. Thank you very much. Shout out to Rayshawn Cross with the $5 super chat. Says, hey, Wise, I love your show, bro. I would love to be on your show. I have a voice that needs to be heard. Shoot me an email. Shoot me a message. We'll give you a shot. We gave Rolando a shot. Look how that's working out for us. I'm just messing with you, bro.
I'm great for TV, Wise. Listen, I'm great for TV. You know,
bro. You know you my brother. I rocks with you. I rocks with you.
Me
Shout out
too.
to TD coming through with the $7 super chat. Says the point is that if that woman is feeling the vibe of that man, then in her mind she knows him. She's gonna move like she does. No star power needed. Okay, thank you. And with that being said, I appreciate y'all, man. Again, every time I say we're gonna say a stereotype, I got to stop this. This is ridiculous. Every time I say it, here we are at 12 o'clock.
Let me just
and
say
Rolando, it's your fault, bro.
It's always.
Wise, let me just say before we leave, that guy who gave the last super chat, like the last 100 super chats. Number one, we appreciate you for supporting the show. All right, and everybody else who came tonight, we appreciate you. You know, showing up to the show as well. But to that brother, I know he get more butt than a seat on the public bus. You know what I'm saying? He got the gel in his hair. You know, he's giving all this advice about women. Yeah, bro, he got baby mama trauma somewhere.
And with that being said, I'm about to pull the Russell Simmons. I appreciate you guys pulling up, man. God bless you guys. Good night. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We're going to catch up with y'all, man. Y'all take care. Peace.
Peace.
It's the late shift crew. You already know. Handling this, stacking chips, money flow. It is what it is. Don't play with me. I'm on time, but it's the late shift.